Zaz, I feel like I'm surrounded by an assortment of hungover, sad people, that the ability to talk about LeBron nonstop for the next couple of years was something that this show was welcoming, and we've lost that ability to do that. And I feel like I'm walking into a broken group of people who really were rooting for something and now can't have it.
Doesn't LeBron know how much we were going to say really nice things about him for 2 more years? It was going to be so pleasant for him here.
Chris, how are you dealing with the fact that everyone thinks you're a ruiner and a disgrace?
You know, a lot of people report things that don't end up being right. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, that's not what I asked you, though.
I'm feeling okay. I don't feel great about it. I'm kind of just neutral. I'm not like stressing it like some have thought. People are checking in on me, like, are you okay? And I don't know, maybe I'm just I'm perfectly numb to some of this stuff, so I'm good.
Because you do it all the time?
Yeah.
Do you think at this point the risk was worth the reward?
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was?
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice little bump for the...
I don't understand this at all, man. That's crazy. You're like, yeah, I see the benefit. I got people's attention. Got some followers out of it.
I mean,
what?
All right, Dan, if we're going to do this, a few weeks ago, Dan reported the Heat are doing it this year for Giannis. What have they done since then? I'm not saying I'm just saying that's a report you got out there.
But they were trying to do
it.
No, wait a minute. What I said was, before anyone knew it, that all of that with the Heat and LeBron was real, and it was real. There's no disputing that it was real.
Right, and so they went after LeBron is what Dan was reporting there, and I'm reporting that the Heat thought they had him, and I stand by that. I mean, there's been reports that, like, Ethan was reporting.
You didn't report that the Heat thought that they had him. You said that he had decided he was coming here. That's different.
And he was going to announce that he was coming to Miami on Monday.
Maybe I worded it poorly. It's a semantics thing.
It's not semantics. One of them makes you wrong and the other one makes you right. That's not semantics.
Do you know what semantics are?
The Heat came out, like, Ethan Skolnick has reported afterwards that the Heat, I saw reports that Rich Paul thought he was going to the Heat.
The old afterwards report.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I'm just saying, if the reports are everyone in his camp thought he was going to the Heat, and so did I.
Love an afterwards report.
Roy, can you just get me the sound that was the foundation of this report?
I don't know what a source is.
Thank you.
That's fair.
Well, I want to talk. We'll keep this for the show, but I actually want to have a conversation with you about what you think a source is, because it's not the guy who sidles up with you at the bathroom urinal and says something, because there are 7 million douches in Miami who were reporting that LeBron was coming to Miami. There has to be a filter between the person at the urinal who thinks he knows something and how that news gets disseminated to the public. And it's supposed to be a trusted news source. It can't be you still arguing that you're right on Monday when it's as wrong as anyone's ever been around here.
I'm not arguing I was right. I'm arguing that I didn't make it up. I heard it from people that I trust.
Just tell us who your source is.
I'm not going to. No, I will not say that. I get it.
If your source was wrong, what do you owe them?
But it's like,
they made you look stupid.
There have been plenty of people that have done similar reports and got, like, you guys are just attacking me because I'm an easy punching bag.
No,
like,
but maybe we're on your side.
No,
like, we don't like that someone made you look stupid. Say who it was.
We're attacking you because you're the one who got it wrong.
All right, well, they better put something good around Giannis or else you're a terrible reporter.
I got you there.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-ball. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Bill Belichick's primary right-hand man, power broker, Mike Lombardi, the GM of North Carolina, has been placed on administrative leave effective immediately. Pablo Torre has done a report on Lombardi. He will be joining us at 10 o'clock to talk about that, the process, and other things. But Windhorse is on Get Up, and he has said about LeBron, quote, "This is a one-off moment in the history of the league. We've never seen a player ever say the following things. I don't care about money. I don't care about my family. He doesn't even care that much, apparently, about the city because it seems like he's going to leave at least part-time in New York. So I don't know how to frame it," Windhorse says, because it's really, truly unbelievable. LeBron James, as a Philadelphia 76er, I want to ask you guys a handful of questions here. We were making fun of Chris Cody during the Shadow Show. Chris, I say this seriously, and I say it to you and others because I saw a video the other day that had like 1 million views, and all it was is explaining what a source is. That's all the video was, because evidently, Zaz, there are a whole lot of people who watch television, hear the reporters say sources this and sources that, and have no idea what a source is.
I don't know what a source is.
Do you think the grand majority of our audience sort of knows what goes into a source being a source?
Well, I guess the short answer is no. I think that most people in the audience think when they hear a source, that means someone affiliated with the team.
So the source is the following, for those of you who care about this sort of thing, okay? And a reporter is only as good as his or her sources.
That's true.
Chris Cody, we're making fun of him because he got it wrong. He got it wrong in every way. Got the day wrong, got the team wrong. Not a lot of other things you can get wrong. Just got everything wrong because he was hearing from a source that he won't reveal, and he was trafficking on our credibility, and our credibility is born of, at least in part, generally, when I'm reporting something from sources, there's not a whole lot of history that I have of my sources getting it wrong. But I will tell you that the last time I covered this in LeBron, I told you guys I had 7 sources. I had about 400 people telling me he was coming here. I had 7 I trusted. And what Chris did, I fear and feel, is that just one told him and he trusted, but he doesn't know what goes into that trust, even though he comes from a lineage of journalism with his father being a journalist. And this is what a source is. Do I trust you enough that if I get embarrassed here, I still won't reveal who it is you are? I trust you so much that I'm putting my credibility up against the fact that I'm protecting your anonymity. So I'm trading my credibility for your information. I'm going to protect you, but it's because I trust you so much that you're not going to embarrass me. I believe your information is credible. And so the pipeline, and I think this is important in the modern age because we're getting really confused in the age of disinformation of what's true and what's not true. The pipeline is, who do you trust? Not just who do I trust, who do you trust with your information? And Zaz has been saying for months, and now everybody's been saying for months, nobody who's reporting from sources knew shit here.
Nothing.
Because even Rich Paul, who would be a good source, if he's telling me something anonymously, I would believe him as a source and protect him as a source if we have a relationship where he's not likely to embarrass me on purpose. Rich Paul was saying until the last minute he thought it was going to be Miami that LeBron chose.
No one knew anything. Like, no one knew anything. At various times over the last few weeks, reporters were saying Cleveland right now is the favorite. Miami right now is the favorite. Golden State right now is the favorite. Not a single person said at any juncture that Philadelphia is the favorite. So you have people out there who are either straight up lying because they want to have their name in the game and hopefully they end up being right and look informed, or they're just getting terrible information. No one knew shit this whole time.
In this particular case, though, the only people who can know, it's like a really tight circle of people who would know, and everyone else has to talk about it because it's the person in American sports who has dominated the entire country when it comes to sports talk for the last 20 years. It's been when you think about what this run has been for him, it makes no sense that in the history of sport, there has never been someone at this contract relative to everyone else's contract that gets this much attention for the signing of this contract. This is the biggest bargain in the history of free agency. The fact that you bring this, never mind that it's a top 25 player, everything else that comes with the top 25 player, that means attention economy. It means every single one of your sports talk businesses in Philadelphia is celebrating today because LeBron James basically helped build this thing that we have here because he came to Miami when he came to Miami and allowed Miami to be a market that was national with ESPN when none of our other sports teams deserved national coverage.
And there will be a multi-million-dollar business on the LeBron James farewell that they will get to capitalize on.
Maybe.
The amount of money that the Sixers got for $3.9 million doesn't make a lot of sense to me in this respect, Zaz. LeBron James, since signing that deal at a discount with the Miami Heat in 2010, has been firmer on nothing than I will not take any discounts. He has been firmer publicly on no stance than you will pay me the maximum that is allowed because I'm underpaid. Even when you pay me the max, I'm still underpaid. And this represents a reversal of course when it comes to him that is at least in part because the market showed you no one's going to actually pay you what you think you're worth in a market that you want to play in.
Well, the teams that were in it did not have a max contract to give him, but as firm as his actions were over the course of his career, that's how firm his words were via Rich Paul. Rich Paul said weeks ago, money does not matter, and everybody met that with skepticism.
I didn't believe it.
Everything along the way of Rich Paul saying that he hasn't decided, every single thing that was criticized, oh, no, you guys know exactly where you are, came out to be true. Rich Paul didn't know, LeBron didn't know.
Let me, though, offer you a bit of perspective here on what Rich Paul did know earlier than the rest of us. He said out loud that money's not a factor when he realized they weren't going to get what they wanted anywhere in the world. Like, he didn't say that because that's where they entered the proceedings after leaving the Lakers. The Lakers broke up with him, and then they started framing everything, and they realized that the moment that the Lakers broke up with him, they had a decent idea of where the money was going to be and how much it was going to be, and so they started with the narrative of money doesn't matter when it's mattered a whole lot the last 20 years. They knew the amount of money that was going to be available, and it was a lot less than what they wanted. The market spoke early on this.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we all know what the market was? Like, we all knew the cap situation from all these teams that he'd consider being in the mix. Like, it's not like, all right, let me get a max contract. They didn't have that to offer. The cap situation for these teams was a cap situation.
My point,
yeah, they could have maybe moved things and signed in trades, but I think it was pretty clear that he had to take less.
This stuff happens months before we hear about it. LeBron James and Rich Paul have been planning for the exit from the Lakers for many, many months. It didn't just happen. We learned about it when they were willing and ready to do the framing of whatever it is that they were going to say publicly so that they could shape the storyline. But they knew what their situation was in Los Angeles. Now, I'm hearing a number of different things in a number of different places, and I want to make both some clarifications and some corrections here because the New York Post, for example, did a really bad job of headline writing on something that I said as a whole lot of people, not just in Miami, Cleveland's doing this too. There are a whole lot of people wondering how it is that LeBron James just signed a contract that is less valuable for him than just about any contract he could have signed at any point in his career. And so the New York Post puts up this headline, Zaz, that says, Heat furious over LeBron snub as wild 76ers conspiracy theory emerges. And I didn't say furious. They're not furious. There's no one there I've talked to who's furious.
This is definitely, though, from you.
Yeah, it was from me. They were using my name all over that story, and they misheard me. I said curious. I'm not even making that up.
I mean, you were walking the streets while you were talking to us.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, it came in a little bit, like, grainy. I don't know.
What was the wild conspiracy theory, though?
I'll get to the wild conspiracy theory in a second, but it's curious because Mike is real eager. You may have noticed him there. He wants me to lob him that so he can dunk it, and he already did that the time that I presented it the first time. And it's fine that he wants to dismiss it immediately as the loser's lament. I want to clarify again, this isn't just the Heat that's wondering about this. The thing that happened here where Philadelphia comes apparently out of nowhere to be the team that lands him at the greatest free agent bargain there has ever been in the history of competitive people bidding with money over a talent. Because the Sixers only had $3.9 million to spend, you have to get money elsewhere if you're LeBron James to actually get the value or closer to the value of what it is that you are. And so Topps, the trading card company, was the one that actually broke this news before Shams, before it was released, and however it is these things get released. LeBron's been very calculated over 16 years about how these things get released. Television show, Sports Illustrated. And this time, I thought it was Shams that released the news. It was not. It was Topps Trading Cards. And Topps Trading Cards are run by Fanatics and Michael Rubin. Fanatics, quiet as it's kept. Fanatics is a powerhouse that's as large a power as there is anywhere in sports. Like if you just said to me right now that Michael Rubin, if you made a list of most powerful people in sports and said to me Michael Rubin was number one, I'd say, yeah, that's probably right.
They have a total monopoly over sports merchandising now.
So Michael Rubin owned 10%. Michael Rubin's a fascinating figure. He was millions of dollars in debt at 14. Like had a jet ski company and stuff and just knows how to work business. And through whatever it is that he inherited, he created a business that was able to lose money before it made money, because the best way to make money is to have money, or in some cases not even have it and just pretend like you have. And so Michael Rubin owned 10% of the Sixers and realized, not enough. If I'm not an actual owner, if I'm not a real owner, if I'm a minority owner, I don't really have power. And so he realized, my relationship with Joel Embiid is probably more valuable than owning this percentage of the team because of what it is that I want from life and sports. And so he got out and he built a giant company. What are your guys' thoughts on the idea that a trading company would have the news before anyone, before Shams, before anyone, that they would release a trading card that takes prep, even if it's not the actual card, even if it's just somebody photoshopping it? They had the news and the information before anyone else had the news and the information. And because Michael Rubin's not affiliated with the 76ers, a leap that can be made by people who are suspicious or curious is, what was Michael Rubin doing for the Sixers here? How much is that deal with Topps worth? And while, Mike, go ahead, I'll give you the chance to poo-poo it, Mike, but I want to ask you some hypotheticals afterward.
Are you alleging that the Heat's contention is?
I'm not saying the Heat anything, okay? I'm not. Right. Don't make this about just the Heat, because there are plenty of people talking about this. It's not just some.
I'm sorry, I just read the New York Post. It just said Heat. But you don't think he would have had this deal with Topps if he picked Cleveland?
I don't know what the deal is.
What is being insinuated here is that there's some sort of cap circumnavigation via Topps that would only exist if he picked the Philadelphia 76ers. And I believe wholeheartedly he would have had that deal with Topps wherever he chose.
Okay, but you don't know what the deal is.
I know what the deal played out to be, which was Topps got to announce where he was going.
No, you don't know what the deal is. If I told you right now, just in the hypothetical, if I told you that deal goes for X usually, but Topps said, no, we'll give you $50 million. Like, what's the number I have to put it at where I get your attention on, like where I get your attention in the space where they gave Kawhi how much to not plant trees on the side? Like, what's the number I have to put it at for you not to poo-poo it because Michael Rubin, let's say all hypothetical, but let's say Michael Rubin badly wanted to get him to the Sixers and has all the money in the world and is the most powerful man in sports. What do I have to put the number at beyond what the number normally is to get your attention on, not sure if that was kosher?
Fanatics spends a ton of dumb money. Did you not see how their the flag football investment went?
I think we have to
Fest.
find if there's a connection between Fanatics and the Sixers still, right?
Well, the thing is, Michael Rubin had to divest from the 76ers. And if you actually want to look into like weird stuff, there were a whole bunch of rumors about James Harden picking the 76ers and his close relationship with Michael Rubin. Michael Rubin clearly had to divest because he had a lot of close relationships with athletes that probably complicated his investment in the Philadelphia 76ers. If there was an incentive to pick the 76ers because he's friends with Philly ownership and ends up being a 76ers fan, yeah, that's worth looking into. But I don't feel like, and I think that this should be the standard unless totally disproven after a thorough investigation, I don't think that the number attached to his Topps deal would be any greater or less if he picked another team. And I think to suggest that is pretty irresponsible. And I think for teams that ended up losing, teams that went on the record saying LeBron can make his own decision, and then when he makes a decision to just suggest, hey, look into the Topps thing, is sore loser behavior, bad ball.
Fair enough to come away with that appraisal, but I'm going to take a couple of steps back here and frame this for you in a different way so that you understand exactly what's happening in the NBA right now. And I'm going to go over to where Ballmer is. Do you know how much money you have to have for other NBA owners to be scared of your money? Because what's happening with Ballmer right now is other NBA owners are scared of what he will do when he goes to court and is like, what about your rules? Why do I have to respect what your rules are? I respect your rules because we're all in the idea that the governance applies to everybody and that's how it's fair. But I don't respect your rules because I'm doing this on the side and I'm denying that I'm doing it and it's all alleged and I'm going to keep denying it. If rich people don't yell and scream about what Ballmer's doing, and they don't yell and scream about what Rubin's doing, is it because they're all doing it? Is it because they're all competing in these shadows around, the rules are for everybody else?
I think that's how Adam Silver has been able to keep this the way that it is and keep legacy media from reporting it fully, is because if I'm another owner, what Steve Ballmer has done allegedly through Pablo's reporting is an advantage, is unfair. It's cap circumnavigation. It's not fair to the other owners. And if I were another owner that was doing everything above board, I'd be losing my mind about it because this league legislates that equality with that salary cap. I think the reason why we're not hearing about it from the other owners is because they're all kind of doing something like this and they wish this story would go away.
Isn't that just a reflection of real life and how the elite of elite work in the shadows in ways that we can't understand?
I'm not exactly naive. I've worked in this business for a long time. A no-show job paying tens of millions of dollars outside of the salary cap allegedly stunned me.
Right. But LeBron absolutely already showed up. He went to Fanatics Fest. He's doing his part here. This is not a no-show job. I think LeBron James picked the 76ers, and it maybe took me a little bit to realize this, because it's the best possible choice for him in the Eastern Conference to win a title this year. That is an incredible starting five. If you want to look into any business interest that might be a little shady, it's the fact that, not the first time in his career, by the way, he's got a clutch sports guy on his team in Tyrese Maxey. And maybe we all should have paid more attention to the Maxey thing, to the Mike Gansey thing. But I think it's pretty evident.
Did you know that the coach is Clutch Sports also?
I think it's pretty evident. Yes, there's all these sorts of things. But, guys, like, if we were looking at this from a roster construction standpoint after they added Jaylen Brown, that team makes a lot of sense. Way more sense than any of the other destinations. I think we just didn't think he'd end his career in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform because it's random.
How shitty does Bronny feel right now? He left Bronny to go play with the guy who says Bronny sucks.
The thing that I love about the entire transaction, beyond the mystery, there are many things that I love about it. One of them is holy shit, the oldest player in the league is going to have us all watching. Is this going to be a champion or is it going to implode? That's wildly interesting. Like, they're going to make the regular season interesting. Still, at his age, LeBron James is traveling around still making the regular season interesting because while you can say it's a good basketball fit, you're asking LeBron to play the 4, and I thought he didn't want to do much of that anymore.
Defensively, he doesn't want to, but I think offensively, putting him in the dunker spot and the pick and roll spot, he saw that happen in LA and was like, okay, maybe I don't like being the third person, but also this is a really good spot for me to age.
Okay, so this is funny, all right, because this is a really good spot for me to age. Ignores, you have to trust Embiid. And we get real forgetful with him all the time. In the 50 games, in the half of the games
38 games last
that
year,
he's
by the way.
available, in the half of the games that he's available, what happened to them in the playoffs is they beat Boston because he was healthy for 4 games, and then they couldn't do anything because he can't stay healthy for more than 4 games.
Right. I think Amin did a great job of framing that as Embiid is viewed as a luxury, and they have assets that if the Embiid thing totally gets nuked, they have ways around that. But it's not like the other destinations that were in this didn't have question marks. There are question marks about Giannis's health. There are question marks about Golden State. You mentioned earlier that the Philadelphia 76ers came out of nowhere. No, they didn't. They were always reported as a finalist. If he went to the Chicago Bulls, that's a team coming out of nowhere. This team was always in the mix. It wasn't taken seriously. The relationships that he had via Clutch and Mike Gansey were not looked at the same way because no one thought he'd end his career at this random destination that ended up being the best starting 5 for him to latch onto.
I don't think Embiid can be viewed as a luxury. They are not a championship contender if Embiid is not playing. It's not like a guy you sprinkle on saying, oh, this will be a bonus if we get Embiid. No.
Nope.
You only win
That's
if
right.
Embiid is playing.
That is absolutely true what he's saying. You can be interesting. You can be competitive. You ain't winning the title. You're not winning the title against OKC and San Antonio. You're not winning the title if Joel Embiid doesn't look like Joel Embiid has to look. It doesn't become the best starting 5 unless Embiid is a part of it.
Respectfully, I don't know when the injury is going to occur to a Joel Embiid. I just assume at some point there is going to be an injury because I have history as my guide. But the thing that we are not paying enough attention to is the young assets they have on that roster to be able to dig themselves out of a catastrophic situation with Joel Embiid. And that team plays pretty well without him historically. So you have VJ, you have Maxey, hell, you have Jaylen Brown. You have so many assets and flexibility to go out and reshape that roster should Embiid become a huge
Are you saying to trade Embiid?
I'm saying that you can staple a VJ to Embiid. Like, you're not buried. Hell, they just moved the Paul George contract and got Jaylen Brown back in there. I think the days of overlooking what Philadelphia can do with their roster are from a bygone era.
I think he was a decent asset, though, Paul George, because he had a decent year when he did come back.
Bill Simmons called it the second worst contract in the league, only behind Joel Embiid.
That's the problem, though. Joel Embiid is the worst contract and a guy who doesn't play.
But what I'm arguing is you can staple VJ, who is an asset, who is desirable, who is good enough, who is ascending, to staple
for
to
2
that
years
bad
of LeBron.
contract.
You let go of potentially a lifetime with VJ for 2 years of LeBron?
I'm not saying it's without its questions, but what I'm saying is it's not the albatross that we're presenting it as.
You can't do that. Like, you get LeBron because it's okay. We have this 2-year window here to just super maximize everything. And if it doesn't work in this 2-year window, great. We have a future between Maxey, Edgecombe, and Brown.
Okay, but James Harden in Cleveland, Giannis's health in Miami.
Where is Harden? He hasn't even signed yet.
There are questions about all these teams. This wasn't like any of his previous decisions. The money wasn't there, and there were question marks about all these rosters. What makes it interesting is the question of, is this going to work with Philadelphia? Guys, there wasn't a single place, including Miami, where you wouldn't have question marks about the fit and their ability to do it. Yes, it shifts the odds, no doubt. Marketplace reflects that. The market price on DK Sports reflects that wherever he went probably would have been the title favorite. But there are questions about LeBron. There are questions about every single fit here.
I think there's major question marks. I told you on Friday, Dan, I may not have said it on the main show, but I thought the most interesting place for him to go to would have been to go play in Philadelphia if it weren't Miami. But that doesn't come without major questions. The Embiid part is obviously a huge question, and I think Jaylen Brown's a major question too. Like, I'm just as interested to see what it looks like where Jaylen Brown, who very clearly called this his favorite season because he got to be the guy, And his reward for being the guy and having a successful season is, here, you're now the third, maybe the fourth option.
Mike is going to have to help me here with what he's seeing in Philadelphia's young people that I'm not seeing, because I was so tired of betting on Kelly Oubre and Dominic Barlow to do anything in games.
I think both guys are gone now.
I think they might be, and I think Andre Drummond is also gone. So Mike is trusting Johnny Broom and Adam Bona to be what?
Bona for sure. Broom also might get moved.
No, guys, I've said VJ Edgecombe like a ton of times. I think it's a huge desirable asset at a rookie salary wage, and you can staple that to a bad contract. You can just trade it with other money that makes sense. I think he's super desirable. I think he showed you in the playoffs that he's an ascending talent.
I think the interesting thing is how they're going to play Embiid this season, or how they're going to play LeBron this season. Is LeBron going to play back-to-backs? Is he going to play a normal ration of games? Is Joel Embiid, if I put the over-under at 39.5 games for you, do you think Joel plays more than that?
This is the problem with all of this, right? Man, Edgecombe looked good whenever Embiid wasn't playing, but the Sixers weren't very good. Like, it was Edgecombe and Maxey, and they were doing whatever they wanted
So
out
fast.
there. So fast, the two of them, and like, oh, look, they're a 9 seed.
All right, but now you have LeBron James and Jaylen Brown on that roster.
Yeah, and I wonder.
Which matters.
Yeah, it does matter. But the thing that I wonder about before we get to this Jason Tatum sound that may or may not have been passive aggressive is you've seen the tweets about Jaylen Brown. How did he like being Robin in Boston? Now he's going to be Alfred in Philadelphia.
That's a bar.
Because you just all those guys. Highest end of the league in usage rate when they play. All of them. Jaylen Brown, Maxey, LeBron, Embiid, everybody but Edgecombe. Edgecombe never looks better to me than when no one's out there playing with it.
Right. So we've highlighted that throughout this entire process, it turns out Rich Paul and LeBron James were telling the truth. Everything that they said kind of played out. And part of the reason why he didn't pick Miami, you can have your conviction and say, I still believe that Miami is a better fit for LeBron James. But part of the reason that he didn't pick Miami, according to the people that matter, was he'd already done that. And to go back to a place that you won wasn't as appealing because you can undo some of the feelings there. That's one of the reasons that he gave for not picking Miami. I think we can understand that.
I want to, though, correct you, or I guess it's not even a correction, because I agree with you in general about them telling the truth. Yeah. But what they were doing more is shaping it. They were shaping it, and so it became the truth. But it's not the truth that he didn't want to go back to the Lakers and continue to do things there. They didn't want him there anymore, and they immediately shaped it as, I want to see what else is out there. And that's when the money talk started to change after they sniffed around, because I'm telling you, these things happen months before we hear about them.
It's just when I look at it, and I separate myself from the emotion. And look, the homer in me thinks that if he picked Miami, Miami would have been in that conversation in the East and could have added to the roster and ultimately would have been in the mix as a champion. I really believe that. I wish he picked Miami. I'm saying that right now. But if I can separate myself from that emotion, I think LeBron James picked the best possible landing spot of the teams that were reported to be in that mix to help him win a championship this year. And he said as much in his statement.
Yeah, I don't know about all that truth stuff. This feels to me like one of those, this is my truth. So this is my truth, so this is what's real.
Then it can be a rationalization, but it's not. We're debating whether or not it's a right fit. And for that to be clear consensus, then to suggest that there's a tops thing or something that's not above board going on here just sounds like loser talk to me.
Like, Mike, you think LeBron made his decision 1 a.m. Friday morning? That's when he finally made it, 1 a.m.?
No, I mean, it's been reported that Shams messaged Pat McAfee, hey, you're going to want me on later today. So, I mean, these deals probably came together, and there was industry chatter. I remember I checked the DraftKings Sports app one random day, and the price on Philadelphia was really inflated post-Fanatics Fest. And I was like, what happened here? There was crazy line movement. And then it shrank back down.
Mike, I'm going to keep correcting your word choices as your word choices allow you to arrive at loser talk when you call it loser talk, because you say suggesting and intimating. Asking questions isn't the same as suggesting or intimating. Being curious isn't the same as being furious. And this report from The Athletic on the Tops thing, timestamps on the post from LeBron James, Tops' X account post, and Shams, all popped at 11:30 Eastern. But users received Tops post notification first, indicating Tops sent its post seconds before the others. It's particularly of note because parts of the Sixers organization were apparently surprised by James's decision, with a team source close to the process telling The Athletic that they did not learn of his choice to accept their offer until minutes before the social media alerts. According to the company, this marks the first time a player move has ever been announced via trading card.
Right, and LeBron has always been on the cutting edge of that and has decided to announce where he's going in different ways, and I firmly believe 100% of my heart that he would have a top steal if he picked Cleveland, that he would have a top steal if he picked Golden State, or that he would have a top steal if he picked Miami.
I know, Mike.
To go there after repeatedly saying LeBron can make his own choice and to let it be known, hey, we're curious about this thing, is not Miami Heat culture.
It's everybody's asking this question, Mike. We don't have to keep making it just the Heat because I'm hearing it for more than just Heat people. And I'm going to ask you the question again. I'm going to ask it again. If tomorrow, hypothetically, someone reports as fact that the Tops deal is worth, how much more do I have to make it than the average deal? Because it can be argued LeBron James is a bigger star than anybody, and so he's worth any amount of money that you want to pay him for a Tops card. But where do I have to put the number to get your attention on saying, you know what, that is curious that it would happen that way?
Nowhere. Unless he got more money to go to Philadelphia, we're having an irresponsible conversation. It's an irresponsible thing for a professional organization to posit that LeBron James picked a destination because of a Tops deal.
You're using words that aren't being used.
Okay, to curiously posit that he picked a destination because of a Tops deal. He's the biggest star in sports. He was going to have an endorsement deal with Tops regardless. Just move on. He picked another team, and he picked another team that makes a ton of sense. For a team or a fan base to question what's going on here when the guy at most could have made $8 million. It's not like the difference was $4 million. There's nothing shady going on here. If you want to look into fanatics and their monopoly over the sport, yeah, go right ahead. If you want to look into the James Harden signing of several years ago, go right ahead. But he picked Philadelphia on merit. There's a very strong argument for it. He didn't pick other destinations. He gave explanations as to why. It wasn't just basketball fit. Though, if you have injury questions about Joel Embiid, you can have injury questions about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He picked Philadelphia because what he said was, this was the best roster to help me win now. It was better than Miami's, and he also didn't want to go back to Miami for some emotional reasons as well.
I'm going to pair that, as he says, on merit, makes total sense, with the guy who's been covering LeBron as an expert since high school. This is a one-off moment in the history of the league. We've never seen a player ever say the following things. I don't care about money. I don't care about my family. He doesn't even care that much, apparently, about the city because it seems like he's going to live at least part-time in New York. So I don't even know how to frame it because it is, and this is Brian Windhorst, who's covering him since high school, really, truly unbelievable. And now Mike, with a weekend to sleep on, is like, I saw it coming all along. It's on merit.
No, I'm not saying I saw it
makes total sense. While Windhorst is still on Monday saying this is unbelievable.
Okay, well, if you're going at me for saying that this makes sense, I like my hand. It makes total sense. They did not come out of nowhere. They were a finalist reported the entire time. And you could say not caring about money with whatever destination he picked, because the money wasn't there to reflect his fair market value. He could have maybe made a couple more $1 million down here in Miami. That's it. So very clearly the money didn't matter.
I don't believe he doesn't care about money. You know why? Because he's been telling me for 15 years publicly that it does.
He doesn't need to care about salary that he's getting because he knows I can get endorsement deals
That's right.
anywhere.
He didn't have to care about it for the last 15 years, and he still cared about it every single time. Said, you will not pay me less than the maximum.
Guys, it's pretty obvious why he picked Philadelphia. He told us as much.
I know,
and
but Windhorst is saying it's still unbelievable.
Yes, it's unbelievable. Look at it. Look behind you. Look at that Photoshop of him in a Sixers uniform. This is crazy. He's ending his career in Philadelphia. It's random. They weren't taken seriously as a leader this entire time. But I think with altitude on the situation, we get it.
I do think that there's got to be a Laker fan after he signs for the minimum in Philadelphia who says, You couldn't have played for the minimum 1 year with us. 1 out of 8. You had all the money in the world after you signed with us. You couldn't do it for 1 year and let's see what other pieces we can put around you and try and win here. Like now, Philadelphia, you don't know them shit. They don't know you shit. Now is when you're going to be minimum salary guy?
This is the thing that I would say here, because the Lakers have been telling everybody who didn't get LeBron, that where there are relationships, hey, there's some bullets you dodged there. And nobody has any questions about what he is on the court, right? But what he brings off the court can be a handful for an organization. And there were plenty of Heat people who were not sold on welcoming all of that back to them. I would say the reason that this is them shaping the truth instead of just telling the truth is he also wanted a place where he could make all the rules, because they want him so badly again, because he likes to make all the rules when he goes to places, and he didn't get to do that anymore with the Lakers once they got Luka, and he got to do that when he went back to Cleveland, but he left Cleveland and came here. And I've told you some of the stories about Maverick Carter and all those guys asking for an assortment of things in 2010 that weren't allowed, that the Heat wouldn't go for, because why wouldn't you ask for them? You have all, why Kawhi and his uncle just kept asking for an assortment of things that could or couldn't have been allowed, because allegedly, because hey, you put the responsibility on the organization to follow the rules if it means you can have more money.
All right, so you're finding it. You're talking it out, and you're finding more reasons as to why he picked Philadelphia, and more reasons why it makes perfect sense.
The rules, making the rules, that's not being reported by anybody. It's not being said by anybody as the agent and the story shape the entirety of the narrative, because they can, at least in part, because they're the only ones who have any real information, unlike Chris Cody.
Number 29, Jimmy Graham. Wow. Number 28, I Show Speed.
Ah, come on.
Zaz is your boy.
Not my boy.
Can I take a quibble with your list real quick? Just let me take a quibble. How is Jimmy Graham ahead of Tony Gonzalez? Like, what are you doing?
I think Jimmy Graham was a better college basketball player.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that dude ate glass.
Yeah.
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 And neck is a tight end.
And like they were only separated.
Neck and neck is a tight end, Dan.
Yeah, they're-
Look at Jimmy Graham's seasons, Dan.
No, Tony Gonzalez is better, but like in terms of the back of the, I mean, Jimmy Graham just casually started playing football, dude. Right. I think like the ease that it came to be an all timer separates them, and again, they're only separated by Jameis Winston on this list. Yes, but they're both behind I Show Speed. Number 27, Kenny Lofton.
You've fallen in love with I Show Speed.
I think it's an incredible story.
You've come around on him.
No,
Stupid story.
I've always been in on him. The guy was barking at people in front of like a couple dozen Twitch streamers, and then he's playing before the World Cup. It's an incredible story. It's an incredible American story.
What was he playing?
He was playing one of his songs.
You haven't been always in on him. You've been what Zaz is presently, where you were saying to yourself, what is it about this guy? And then the first time you actually got informed, you're like, oh, I get it.
No, the first time that I put effort into like watching it and the stuff that he does, and admittedly,
What's he do?
It's not for me. It's skewed to a younger audience, but he's a master when it comes to engagement, and it's also like he doesn't have the chops. Like he puts himself out there, things that can embarrass him. I think the production when he goes on tours, it's some of the great organic content that's out there, really genuine funny moments that come from improvisational skills. His team around him is incredible with the content. Don't
He waved
Yeah,
his
I
hand.
did.
No, I think when he goes on tour,
I shooed you.
he gets like Michael Jackson level reaction.
Really? He gets Michael Jackson level
Yes.
reaction?
Yes, he
Michael
does.
Jackson.
Yes.
The king of pop.
Yes, he does.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
There's
Jackson.
Michael Jackson, and there's I Show
Yeah.
Speed. Similar response.
Similar response.
Similar
know
crowd
ball.
reactions.
You don't know ball.
Michael Jackson, I Show Speed. Okay.
You sound like an embarrassing
Okay.
person. You sound old as shit. Kenny Lofton played for Lute Olson's Arizona Wildcats. He was really good. Number 26, Patrick Mahomes. The bloodline. He is the most talented quarterback we've ever seen. And if he wanted to play pro baseball, it's in his genes. I bet you he could. Number 25, I'm an ally, Ronda Rousey. She also did some MMA. Number 24, Mickey McCarty. Was drafted by 3 professional sports leagues.
Did you just make Mahomes high on this list because his dad was a baseball player?
Yeah, well, I'm sure he could have and been really good at it. Number 23.
So you put that ahead of Kyler Murray, who actually got a great deal of money for playing baseball. You don't even know if Mahomes played baseball.
Number 23, Anthony Kaladiu. Oh, stop. I mean, I'm selling you short, pal. As you know, tried out for the Miami Heat. Tried out for FI. How good do you have to be?
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Before we get to some sound from Jason Tatum at a kids camp that sounds like it's passive-aggressively directed at Jaylen Brown, I want to put in front of you guys another story that I feel misrepresents what I think, what I said, and how I feel. So in the first hour, I'm telling you that the New York Post is reporting that I say the Heat are furious over something when it's a whole lot of people and they're curious, not furious. I understand how that mistake can happen, but I never said they were furious because I didn't talk to anybody who was furious. There was nobody I spoke to who was furious. And so that's just blatantly inaccurate to say that anybody was furious, according to my reporting. But the big lead had a headline, and I did not read this story because I have checked out for a while on reading things that are about me, at least in part because there are so many bad faith agitators who are just sort of using anything I say in order to write the story that they want to write. And my entire life, Zaz, I've been the one who has been arguing in defense of the media when people just do the blanket claim of the media is biased. And I say, no, some of the media is biased, but there are a great many people who are aspiring to objectivity, even though it's a bit of a human illusion. And there are plenty of people who are trying to not be biased, and I've been a defender. But there are many people now, more than ever, I would say, or more than in my lifetime, who are just simply bad faith operators who are taking whatever it is you say and figuring out how to squeeze the juice out of it so that they can get their clicks on conflict. And so the headline on the big lead is something that I do not feel. It says, Dan Le Batard's hypocrisy is clear with latest Pat McAfee ESPN claim. The former ESPN personality isn't happy with McAfee's growing influence at the network. That's not true. It's just not true. I've never said at any point that I'm unhappy with his growing influence at the network. That's not, and the reason I know it's not true is because it doesn't exist inside of me. It's not something that I'm sitting here thinking, feeling in any way. So I know I haven't said it because it's not something that I feel.
I think the opposite is true. I think you are happy for Pat and his story.
It's not just that I'm happy for Pat and his story, unlike any in the history of sports media. It's also that anything that happens good for Pat is good for us. I remember how happy Pat was when we signed our deal because he's like, oh, now I know what we're worth. One of the things that no one seems to understand about the business of this, and I don't know how interested people are, even Mike last week was saying about game day, etc. No, man, his show, 3 hours a day in that time slot, pays for itself. Like, First Take is 2 hours. There aren't that many 3-hour shows that you can put in that time slot that wouldn't pay for themselves. And I am sure that ESPN gets all of his YouTube money too. All of the stuff on, I'm sure, or whatever the rev share is, I'm positive that ESPN pays him that way. Man, listen to what McAfee did. He had a deal with FanDuel that was like our deal with DraftKings, tore it up because ESPN said, come over here, we'll give you a better deal, and you can keep all of your own stuff, and we'll help you grow your platform 3 hours a day on our network. Then he goes there, and they tear up that deal at ESPN before they have to because Pat McAfee pays for himself. People do not understand that Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee, what they're being paid, ESPN recoups all that money. That's why they're paying them that way, and it's part of why they're getting rid of some of the people who don't pay for themselves that way. There are other reasons also that they are getting rid of some of those people. The thing I'm objecting to, and McAfee just happens to be in the middle of it as a pro wrestling figure, a heel, and somebody who's dropping an album, and the album is about how polarizing it is. The other thing that I'm objecting to is the course correction after George Floyd that runs, there's not a Hispanic perspective you're going to get from anybody on ESPN on anything, and any pro-black voices who are talking about black things, it doesn't seem like there's the space for anyone to do it. Even if there are a couple of people there who can do it, it doesn't seem like there's the space to do it. And then Ryan Clark goes on his podcast, The Pivot, and breaks down weeping because he's not allowed to be black on ESPN, according to him.
So I read the whole thing. I know you didn't. I think the way that the headline is framed is really unfair to you. But then I read the article, and look, you said those things. And when you were saying those things, I'm like, man, someone's got to run with this because Pat's a lightning rod, and anytime you weigh in on the media, people feel like they have license because it does numbies. You get the clicks. So I was like, man, this is probably not going to go a good way for Dan. They didn't misquote you. It allowed for people to take this license.
The second headline is absolutely a misrepresentation of what I said there.
I agree. But I do think the hypocrisy that they're pointing to, and man, I wish we had the juice that people thought we had, which was we rode that wave when their ideology was headed in a different direction. We got big. We were on ESPN radio. We were platformed. We got more opportunities than we ever did, and that was during a time where John Skipper was intentionally trying to diversify his lineup and bring in different people from different walks of life and represent something that was considered by the right more woke, whether that was fair or not. So we benefited from that, and I think Pat is benefiting from a clear course correction, but he is spearheading that course correction as a megastar talent who, as you said, pays for himself and works very hard and does a lot of extra shit beyond filling 3 hours a day on ESPN1. I think he's totally worth it. But you did give people the license to twist those.
I don't think it matters whether I give them the license or not. If I'm speaking freely about anything here, the license is going to be taken on whatever angle it is that you have to get to your clicks. I was talking about, and it's part of the transaction, and I get that, but I was talking with some friends of mine because I happened to be having breakfast in a place the other day where Shakira was.
Lucky dog.
It's a bar.
Breakfast friends?
Add it to the list.
I like that.
She is impossibly tiny.
Who cares?
What do you mean?
I mean, whatever.
She's impossibly tiny.
Okay. I'll put you down as not a Shakira guy. Tiny.
I'm not saying
Impossibly tiny. Impossibly tiny.
How tall do
Hey
you?
man, we can't all be perfect.
How tall do you think she is?
I think she's very short, but the hips don't lie.
3'9".
She is the single smallest person who isn't a little person that I've ever seen. Before this, it was Donna Shalala.
The first time I ever saw Donna Shalala, I couldn't believe it.
She's not Donna Shalala's height.
Donna
She
Shalala
cannot
is
be.
shorter.
She's
than
shorter.
you think she
No,
is.
she can't be.
She's shorter.
No,
I don't believe that.
No,
She-
I don't believe you.
Nobody is shorter than Donna Shalala.
No one.
Come over
no
here.
one.
Come over here. I'm going to show you a picture.
Tiniest
But
person
she is
ever.
listed. I looked it up. I had to look it up. She's listed as
She's
5.
not shorter than Donna
She's
Shalala.
like this
She
tall,
is,
Donna Shalala.
Mike, I'm going to show you a picture right now, and you tell me if this person is or isn't just a porcelain doll.
Get in here, Mike.
Because this is not, and she is shorter than Donna Shalala.
Look at it.
And it looked like she was sitting in someone's lap when she was just sitting next to that person.
I can't tell. She's sitting down.
Well, she's.
The arms are short, but that's not shorter than Donna Shalala.
She's got to be 4'7". I'm not kidding you.
No way. She stood next to Burner Boy.
When I saw her, I thought to myself, she is perpetually placed next to people who are very small, so no one will know how small she is. There is simply no way that the world at large knows how tiny Shakira is.
IMDb has her at 4'11" and 3/4, so about 5 feet.
Nope. I saw what I saw was her
4'11".
listed at 5.
3/4 too. How did IMDb get that?
Look, there's no one who's 5'11" and a half, and there's no one who's 4'11" and a half. Those are all lies. Like no one.
3/4.
There's no one. There's no one on earth who's 5'11", who says they're 5'11" and a half or 4'11" and a half. That's how you know that that's a lie.
I have routinely stood next to Donna Shalala. There is just simply
I'm
no way.
promising
But
you.
thank you for the visual of her doing die at the World Cup.
The internet says Donna Shalala is 5 feet.
I can testify.
No.
Donna Shalala's hips also don't lie.
Cut that up.
The story, though, that I was headed toward is that's a level of fame that is wildly uncomfortable, and I don't know how many people would just want that level of fame because there were bodyguards, there were a whole bunch of things around her. But I was saying to Valerie, the reason that I like the place that I occupy with fame being just very small is that what I got in New York, and it's all I got in New York, and it was lovely to get in New York, was WFAT!
You're finally popular in New York as a noted Knicks guy.
Oh, let's play the Jason Tatum sound here. Who could this be about? Like this thought that's in his head is only in his head for one reason, right?
Being a leader doesn't mean you know it all, right? I don't know it all. I'll be the first person to say that. Being a leader is being comfortable with raising your hand like, Ms. Hope, I don't know. Can you explain that to me? I don't know X, Y, and Z. I want to learn, right? If somebody been around somebody that feel like they know it all, I don't want to be around that person, right? I don't want to get the smartest person in the room. I'll learn from somebody else.
That's unfortunate if he didn't mean that. Because he picked the exact words that were reported about Jaylen Brown being the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, I mean, he's either taking a shot at Jaylen Brown or he's stupid. Because you'd have to be stupid not to understand how that's going to be perceived.
He's helping the kids out there. Like Coach Tony Fiorentino across the street, make your bed, do your thing. Like Jason Tatum's just trying to help out kids. Be like, hey, don't be the cool guy. Raise your hand. Say I don't understand something. Don't try to be the smartest guy in the room. It's helping.
As a businessman, Kevin Hart, who wants to be a billionaire, articulates many of the same thoughts of loving to walk into rooms and wanting to be in rooms where he's not the smartest person because he wants to do learning from people who are smarter than him. But the thing that's being attached to Jaylen Brown, as far as I could tell, Colin Cowherd, who has exactly zero Celtic sources, was making that argument, saying that Jaylen Brown is giving off that he thinks he's the smartest guy in every room. There hasn't been anyone else saying that, and I've told you before, I'm really uncomfortable with some of that analysis because it's a dog whistle a couple of steps short from uppity. Like, oh, you think you're that smart? Oh, you're not that smart. Like being smart's not a bad thing. Thinking you're smarter than everyone is a bad thing. I don't think Jaylen Brown thinks he's smarter than everyone. I think Jaylen Brown is just smart. And so using that as a smear, using that as a scalpel to cut somebody, it bothers me. But you don't think that can be an accident? Because Jason Tatum would have been fine until that last sentence. Smartest guy. I don't need to be the smartest guy in every room. I think he would have gotten away with nobody picks up that sound if he doesn't use that as the last sentence.
We did play audio of Jaylen Brown responding to that criticism, and he didn't exactly deny it. He was just like, yeah, that's not really a high bar. Athletes are dumb.
He did do that. I am the smartest guy in every locker room.
Yeah,
is
I'm the
what
smartest
he
guy.
was saying.
He didn't deny that he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, but that's just because athletes are dumb.
Well, I don't know whether you guys think – I don't know how you guys think of Draymond Green. I actually think that Draymond Green is very bright and also happens to have a temper problem. But I happen to think he's bright. And maybe you don't think that. He says, no, Jaylen Brown's really smart. It's book smart. It's street smart. It's all the smart. It's intellectual IQ. It's emotional intelligence. Like it's all the kinds of smart, which is not something that I associate necessarily with Jason Tatum. And I do think that smart, too smart, can be unlikable and threatening. I think that both of those things are in play where just I don't think it's a flaw to be too smart. I don't look at that as something that you can use to wield and cut somebody with. You're too smart. But for people who aren't, it can be threatening. And so you think what there? You think he's absolutely, no question about it, it's not a mistake. He's telling a bunch of kids, I'm not Jaylen Brown. You think that's what he's teaching the kids? Don't be Jaylen Brown, be me. You think that's his message?
I think he's doing both. I think the advice that he's given there is sound advice. I think he's giving good advice to those kids. And at the same time, one of the criticisms during this whole thing between Jaylen Brown and the Celtics was, this is before the trade, why hasn't Jason Tatum said anything? He's completely quiet. Why is he not defending Jaylen Brown here? Oh, well, it must be because he actually agrees with the Celtics and he aligns with management that it's kind of enough of Jaylen Brown. And the first time that... Have we heard from Jason Tatum before this camp? The first time we hear from him upon giving sound advice to kids, he's also using the exact same words that would lead us to believe that he's talking about his former teammate.
I should say, not wanting to be the smartest person in the room is a noted cliche. It is great mentorship advice to give to kids. It is a credo that I live by, not wanting to be the smartest person in the room. I want to surround myself with people that are smarter than me, and I learned that from a cliche that was handed down to me from my dad. So I know that you can look into this, but is this a curiously, furiously situation? He's just espousing a noted cliche.
The same way LeBron was when he said to trust the process at Fanatics Fest. And then ends up in Philadelphia. Another basketball story that Udonis Haslem was resurrected this week, because I guess we were talking about Bam and Tyler and fights, and Udonis Haslem was talking about how common fights are. Pat Riley, when he sat down with us here, also was talking about how common fights are. It was actually Ray Allen who taught me a great deal about the idea of, hey, we're not in our feelings around here. Like, if something needs to be solved, two people will go to a fight and then the fight will be over and it's solved. Like, it's not, I would think that if any of us around here got into a fist fight with each other and somebody just took an unholy beating, I would think that whoever took the unholy beating would hold on to it for the rest of their lives. That's not quite how sports works. And so Udonis Haslem was telling the story about James Johnson. James Johnson, for those of you who do not know, is the baddest man in the history of the Miami Heat, Udonis Haslem included. There's never been somebody who has been more actually menacing than James Johnson. James Johnson, also a great reference point when Zaz thinks that our athletes could win all of the soccer games if all our athletes played soccer. James Johnson, an unbelievable athlete who was just okay at basketball. Just okay compared to other people at basketball.
I had him as LeBron.
James Johnson should have been one of your top 52 sports stars. One of them should have been, I believe he's undefeated in MMA. I believe he has fought a couple of professional fights, and I don't believe that he has lost. But Udonis Haslem is telling the story, and we don't know who the teammate was, of there being an issue with James Johnson, and the way it was solved is outside afterward, okay? And then James Johnson just beat the holy hell out of that teammate.
I ain't gonna say no name, but somebody on our team called JJ a JJ said, JJ said, him up in the locker room. Hey, listen, this real talk. Him up in the locker room. This JJ say, hey, you gotta see me after practice. Everybody say, oh shit. Everybody say, oh shit.
You know that's like, man, stall him out, Debo.
No,
man, hold on, man.
Here.
Man, stall him out,
not
man.
Here.
Hey, JJ was already, his mind was made up. He said,
not here.
That.
Not here. Hey, listen, let me tell you
if
something.
Someone tells you they gotta see me after
Man, listen.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something.
That people with neck tats, you know, all right here and all that. I said, yeah, you off the chart.
Hey, man, listen,
you off
man.
your rocker anyway.
Let me tell you something.
Man, listen. That man called that man the I looked at JJ, I said, man, JJ, don't do that. He said, man, listen, stay out of this. Stay out of this, Bam. The funniest part about it, dog, JJ in the balling.
JJ
I'm talking
lumped
about
that
beating
man.
this man up. Like, he ain't got no kids, no
JJ
family.
lumped that man up quick.
Man, listen. Towels flying. You know our equipment manager, Rob. Shout out Rob, man.
Shout out Rob.
Man, Rob get in there. Hey, man, get away from my towels. you messing up my towels. And I'm just looking at this man balling this man up, and I'm like, man, bro.
Listen.
JJ got done. He said, you all right? And then walked out. Walked out. This man crying, sniffling.
They hugged it out.
I don't believe sports are like most workplaces in this regard. James Johnson also was somebody when the basketball got lodged between the rim and the backboard one time, impressed everyone because he kicked it out instead of knocked it out with his hands.
What?
Yeah, he did it with his foot. He kicked the ball out. I didn't think that a foot. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can anyone touch the rim with their foot? Yes or no? Can anyone in the world touch the basketball, a 10-foot basketball rim with their foot because James Johnson dislodged a basketball that was stuck between the rim and the backboard?
I think Wemby did it this year. So anybody other than that, I don't think so. But Wemby, I think, did it this year.
With his foot.
With his foot. He kicked it out from where exactly that place is between the...
Get the hell out of here.
I'm pretty sure Wemby did it. By the way, James Johnson, 27-0, his fight record, 20-0 in kickboxing, 7-0 in MMA.
I want to know who the teammate was that he beat up.
MMA.
So there were 3 M's.
This was MMA.
It's a bigger league than just merely
smaller
MMA.
league.
MMA.
Less known.
James Johnson had a Heat player calling for his ma. Who was the Heat player? Do we have any guesses? Do we want to go through some rosters? Do we want Pablo Torre to find out? Would you like to know who James Johnson was beating up with such ferocity that they just curled into a ball sniveling?
So what we're looking at here is the Bam Adebayo story of him being a rookie, right? Where James Johnson was calling him 13 because he hadn't passed the conditioning test yet. So I'm going to his rookie year where James Johnson and Udonis Haslem were both on the team, which is 2017-2018 Miami Heat roster. And I'm looking across here. I don't think it was Dragic. Could it be the man with the golden arm?
Ooh.
You think Wayne Ellington said something to James Johnson?
I don't think so.
We got Tyler Johnson. You think Tyler would?
I think it could be Tyler Johnson.
You think it could be Tyler?
Yeah, I do.
What about Rodney?
I was thinking Rodney.
Luke Babbitt.
Rodney Buford?
No,
Rodney
Magruder.
Buford.
Rodney Magruder. Whatever. Like these are famous Miami Heat names.
It's Rodney.
It's Rodney. Don't you remember Draymond Green
Rodney.
around
You don't
here?
think it was Hassan? That's the leader.
Oh, I don't know.
No, but he wouldn't have had Hassan balled up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hassan's
so
a
much
big
bigger.
boy, dude.
All right, I'm going to reach out to his
Dion Waiters?
I'm going to start reaching out to some people now, too.
I feel like it
as
could
we
be
talk.
Deion Waiters.
Derek
Could be.
Jones.
I got
Derek
2
Jones
that it
Jr.,
could be.
While we're looking this up, Roy, please play the stories of James Johnson on with us, just what he grew up around, why his family is a family of fighters. We've got a handful of stories on this front. Play one of them while I'm looking this up.
Did you know better as a kid than to talk back to your mother or your father?
Nah, our opinion meant little to nothing. It was their way or nothing. And, you know, if you disagreed or you wanted to backtalk, it wasn't no normal swat on the butt or no take off his belt or get a switch. It was none of that. It was, let's get in the ring real quick because obviously you think you're more of a man than me. Or you think you could beat me up to talk to me like this. If you want to talk to me like this, then you must think you could beat me up.
What's the worst L that one of them caught? The one that let you know that you didn't want those problems?
My older brother, the oldest one, he started talking to my dad and things like that. You know, they got a little heated, and they put on the gloves. They was about to spar or whatnot, and my brother had bowed to my dad, which is a respect thing. And that wasn't the intentions of what my dad was going in to fight him for. He's going in there to fight you because you broke respect. I don't think you're supposed to skip the bow after that. That's like dapping somebody. You know, that's like shaking someone's hand and they punch you real quick or something. That's exactly what happened. He bowed and his head happened to be down, eyes happened to be down, and it was the meanest uppercut I think I've ever witnessed. I don't even think Iron Mike had an uppercut like that, I swear to you.
Regrettable chuckle fest over the child.
Play on for me.
The child abuse, you had it played on before he made the allegation. You're play on. You allowed it to play on before anyone heard him actually say the words child abuse that Bomani and I were laughing at. Let's play the sound. There's better sound than that because I believe that the toughest, you talk about child abuse, I believe that the toughest person in the Johnson family was Mom.
Give us the most memorable story involving Mom being a disciplinarian. It sounds like you probably have some good ones.
She was the one who always
through stuff. It was no matter what was close to her, knife, ninja star, broom, pan. She was the one, and she was the most accurate. I never seen her miss. And she knew she couldn't catch us. We always ran from her, but that's why she got good at throwing, I guess. That's my best story. My brother got hit. My brother got hit with that was the first thing in front of her was a knife. I'm not saying my mother is dangerous or crazy, but she was eating her dinner. That was the first thing that was in front of her that she saw when she wanted to get my little brother, and she picked it up and threw it. And I don't think she thought she was going to hit him, but she stuck my little brother. And then after that, he screams, he cries, whatnot, and then she starts crying because she didn't mean to do it, and that got to be the most memorable one when she had to be a disciplinary.
Brandishing a butter knife. I'm going to pretend that was a butter knife. I prefer than one of the sharper utensils.
Could have been plasticware.
A spork? Tyler Johnson's a good guess.
I got Tyler Johnson or Deion Waiters.
Deion's a good one.
I feel good about those two.
Although I don't know that they would say – I don't know that those two would be – Hassan is the one that would be unwise enough to say that to James Johnson.
And I don't have James Johnson picking a fight with a smaller dude.
But Hassan wouldn't be balled up. He's too big.
Sure he would have been.
I think against someone who was 27-0 in kickboxing, I mean, it's clearly someone who knows how to fight. Yeah. 27-0 is a pretty good record.
And I feel like it's more noteworthy to say they were balled up if it's Tyler Johnson. I don't even need. It's obvious that he'd be balled up.
Yeah, but he didn't say his name, so that's the thing. James Johnson's 6'7", so you're saying we're going to eliminate everybody under 6'7"?
Pablo Torre is there. We are welcoming in Pablo Torre, an assortment of things to talk to Pablo Torre finds out about. Pablo Torre finds out all the things. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner and Edward R. Murrow winner and an assortment of other kinds of winners, but not a winner of an Emmy. It's a weird thing. You'd think if you can win competing against everybody in the world over something that you'd be able to beat the people at the Sports Emmy. But nope. Sports Emmy, harder to win than a Pulitzer. Didn't have that before Pablo Torre started finding out. First things first, the trust the process, Philadelphia, Sixers, LeBron. What did you make of all of that? What were the interesting parts of it to you?
I mean, there's a lot. Hi, Dan. Thanks for that intro. There's a lot interesting, obviously. And I don't even want to go to the fact that the process sort of started with, this whole thing that I wrote about. I'm going to skip that. I think in the present tense, it's just really interesting that LeBron James is saying to everybody, like, I'm transcending the idea of a franchise. Like, I don't think there's ever been a connection that's as meager between a player and the team he's joining than the Sixers and LeBron James. And so it's this reminder that whatever you thought he was going to get peer pressured really into, and whatever you thought his entertainment vehicle was going to be, he is reasserting in an interesting way, I think, the idea that he is bigger than any single team. And this whole thing in which he's going to live potentially in New York and commute to Philly, which J.J. Redick, his former coach with the Lakers, did when he was a Sixer, that did not go great in Philly. But even the basic bandying about of, like, he might not even live in Philly is so funny to me, because it immediately severs that, you would say, like, easy PR win, but no, he's not going to do that. And so in every regard, and you go down the list, right, in the ways in which this is shocking, it is LeBron James saying, I'm transacting in a way that no one has ever transacted before. And whatever you thought of, like, Kevin Durant as, like, the mercenary, just remember that's my legacy. And he is unapologetic about it, which raises lots of follow-up questions.
It's been a long time since the Sixers were really interesting. In their franchise's history, you have Charles Barkley, you have Allen Iverson, you have Moses Malone and Dr. J. Is this the most interesting Sixers team there's ever been?
Yeah. And that's with all due respect to lots of interesting, both in dysfunction and hype, previous Sixers teams. I don't know how you argue against it. What LeBron is going to do, by the way, like, as he load manages himself and Embiid load manages himself during the regular season, is he's going to be the guy who is handling the ball. And so LeBron James in a postseason, ball handling and solving the problems that the Sixers have, because that was their problem, who's going to run this offense as effectively a point fill in the blank noun, whatever, point center, point power forward. That combined with the fact that I think what you're seeing, what you saw in New York, the ability for a starved team to actually go out and galvanize human beings in a flesh and blood way out in the street, that's on the table for Philly, right? They are as say whatever you want, and all you guys have said many things about Philly in the past, and I get them all. That is a city that is desperate in a way that provides upside. It is also desperate in a way that provides immediate and obvious downside. And that's what's interesting, is that there is a huge delta between the best version of this and the worst. And I don't think there is as big a gap as in any other city that he considered.
How should Jaylen Brown feel about the last 8 weeks?
I think he has the ability to reset. He has the ability to respin whatever his position should have been in the first place. Jaylen Brown, not wanting to be the sidekick, that being the story of him, he now can prove that actually he's here to do the opposite if he wants. I just think it's very interesting that this is all, of course, because of the Celtics. That's the domino here. The domino was what Brad Stevens decided to not do. And so you get Jaylen Brown in this position that enables LeBron James to be enticed, it seems, on one level. But Jaylen Brown right now can go on Twitch and stream and be very excited about the idea that now he's on an actual contender and not make it about how smart he is or how much he wants to be 1A. And historically, what is extra interesting, of course, is that Jaylen Brown has not done that. And so you also have the incredible explosiveness of that personality here too. So opportunity that I don't think he's going to take.
Do the rest of you imagine when this news breaks, Brad Stevens being Homer Simpson, backing into the bushes, being like, "Oh my God, what did I do here?"
This really spun out of control for Boston after leading in that series. Crazy turn of events.
But seriously, the news gets to him, gets to Brad Stevens. Do you think he just realizes, wait a minute, this happened because I sent Jaylen Brown there?
They did what now?
Do what now?
That is what has to happen there, right?
Oh, Dan, I like to imagine Brad Stevens just like for the first time logging on to the internet and seeing what Twitch is and watching like 5 seconds of Jaylen Brown's stream and being like, we can't do this. And then, 2 weeks later, he wakes up and suddenly he's playing against LeBron James in the division, which is not ideal for Brad. Yeah.
Do what now?
Can you guys look up for me, please, whether I just saw a headline. Charles Barkley says that if LeBron wins in Philly, then he is indeed the GOAT. And I want to know if he's quoted correctly because I'm suspicious of headlines today for a number of different reasons. And I just don't believe that you can do that. Do you think you can do that? Do you think that if LeBron James wins a fourth title for a fourth team, something that no one has ever done, then all of a sudden we're going to change the ridiculous Michael Jordan conversation we've been having for 2 decades?
But he's changing the standard, right? I think that, look, if you're going to justify this narratively, you have to lean into the idea that LeBron is rejecting how you measure greatness historically. It's not about how many rings, it's how hard it is to do it at 4 different places. And so again, I haven't seen or heard what Barkley said there. So I wait the fact check. But that would be the argument, is that who else can you plug in to any team and do this with? And so that would be the narrative case for why this is actually the end of the documentary, as opposed to this very strange twist or this sequel that no one really wants. You'd argue that it's because of that specific reason.
I want to move over to the WNBA and a conversation you and I were having briefly in New York. If I gave you a series of hypotheticals and made your life Caitlin Clark's life in basketball, most people who love sports would take that life and think it fun to make shots from the logo during the All-Star game and be the biggest star in her sport. Do you think Caitlin Clark is having any fun?
No. I think the standard for what fun is now is can other people who like you talk about you online without feeling like they are not making a grave error? Can you actually talk about Caitlin Clark in a way in public that even begins to express, we enjoy her? And I think she has become so unbelievably targeted by the internet and all of its incentives that it just seems miserable. And it seems like she is afraid of that. And I would understand why. I mean, I have talked to, and I'm one of these people, by the way. I think she's so fun to watch. It seems like, of course, like, why would you have a problem with her being this celebrity? And then you go through how she is talked about on the internet, and it's the actual bot campaigns that use her in a way that makes whatever it is to be famous right now the worst version of it that's ever existed in human history. So no, seems pretty bad, actually, despite all of the other things.
That's crazy.
That
you realize
I
all
think
her
are
dreams
great.
are coming true, and she can't enjoy all her dreams coming true because she's at the center of a gender war and a class war and a race war and
Political war.
Political war. Let's play this.
There's like actual like bills being proposed. Like, we got to protect Caitlin Clark. And it's just like, this is a bit much.
Let's play this video of her meeting Barack Obama and just wanting a photo, none of the other stuff.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't let all this nonsense get you down.
Crazy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old man. I mean, you're my daughter's age. They're not to have that much, you know, burden and nonsense. So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you hoop.
I try, sometimes.
You know, no, you always hoop.
Thanks.
And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
She just wanted the picture.
She's like, yeah, thanks for all that. Can I get a photo?
It's pretty awesome, though, that he said that to her right away. Don't let all the nonsense get to you. It's a really cool thing for him to say to her.
Yeah, too late. It's all gotten to her. Ruined everything. We've ruined everything. It's hard to imagine, Pablo, that we've ruined all of it. You make shots from the logo, you're unprecedented, and people want you to be better, and they want you to be different. They want you to be an activist, and they want you to be an assortment of other things that you may or may not be. It really is puzzling to me, Pablo, that your dreams would come true. It's the gypsy curse, right? May all your wishes and dreams come true because you don't know what they look like. And this strikes me as a curse. This does not seem like it's fun, except for when she's playing. And maybe not even then, given that she's got 7 technicals and she's mad at everybody.
Well, I want to make this even more focused because the on-the-court stuff in which players are mad at her and there is a racial dynamic, a flipping of the majority-minority sort of power hierarchy, that is complicated enough, but that's not new. Like, that is stuff that athletes in the past have dealt with. The thing that Barack Obama, a former president of the United States, is expressing genuine empathy for is like the idea of, man, it's rough out there on social media for you. And I think that is so interesting because nowhere, I would say politics is right behind, but like sports is the thing that's most saturated social media. And really what we're talking about more than anything is Twitter. And so there is this amplification and this funhouse opposite funhouse, this nightmare house of horrors dynamic to you are being used by bots that people don't know are bots that get aggregated by accounts that people don't know are editorially manipulating whatever the actual meaning of the thing even is. And it's being circulated in a way that creates an impression that feeds on itself. And so you have people who just genuinely don't want to engage in a conversation about her. Like reasonable people, I am one of them, just won't tweet about Caitlin Clark. Not because there isn't anything to say, it's just because it's like entering a briar patch and then getting mad at yourself for being stuck. Like, wouldn't you rather just not engage? And so that is the experience. It's being deliberately gamed by people that the platform we choose to trust, that platform isn't doing anything about it. And so you just have to sit there and watch your life being discussed in ways that materially now in the real world affect it because perception becomes reality. And that is, when you ask, like, we did it in that regard, broadly speaking, we online did do this. I think it's an internet story.
Pablo, stay there. I want to play for you some Wolf Blitzer video, and I want to ask you about Mike Lombardi as well, who's gotten paid leave at North Carolina. Stay there, and we'll come back with you.
This year's award goes
play college quarterback without being able to throw a football. You had to throw an imaginary one.
So bothered by Jimmy Graham being ahead of Tony Gonzalez.
Come on, Dan.
Hey, make sure you're not late. It's time for Zaslow's World Cuck update.
I mean, I don't know what that was. Trying to do a World Cup update. What the hell you doing there? I do have a few more things I want to say, Dan, as far as the World Cup is concerned. Now, because yesterday was the final round of 16 game, you know what comes next? You know what's next after round of 16?
I cannot believe how electric this World Cup has been.
It really has
So
been.
good.
All the we finally have the good matches that give life to this being one of the greatest tournaments of all time. We were missing those bangers. And Argentina in back-to-back matches give us instant classic after instant
The
classic.
Cabo Verde game was insane.
Against all-time African underdogs. They run up against the greatest player at the tail end of his career, still having enough for one last
Mike,
job.
let me tell you what, that 13 on Cabo, what a shot.
This is
Shot of the
incredible.
tournament.
A
Did you see it
world-
bend?
And how about those fans?
Did you see
It
it
was
bend,
a
Dan?
literal movie.
It was crazy.
He runs into the sand,
Gets
finds
over.
his lady.
Boom.
That's how you end the movie, folks. That is
He was looking, and
unbelievable.
the security was like, no, go back. And he's
That's
like, no,
love.
no, where is she?
That's love right there.
She's got to know also to come down the stairs. What are you doing?
I'm the one who's doing this.
Your second topic, Zaz. Do you have another World Cuck topic?
Well, I'll tell you what. All right, I don't know why you're saying it like that. But anyway, I have other things that I want to talk about. You know what? You can't take this away from me. I don't know if you saw this past Monday night.
CM Punk returns to WWE. After months away and all sorts of rumor and innuendo, he's not on the right side with TKO. Comes back in his hometown of Chicago and beats Sami Zayn, whose title reign lasts about a week. Much fanfare in Chicago.
CM Punk related to Daft Punk at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but see,
Daft Punk's good, though.
Not unlike Messi, later in his career, finding top form, his body looking incredible. You know what this might set up? Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Greg Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to SummerSlam. I want to talk about this.
Well done, Jeremy.
Your third topic, Zaslow, of this World Cuck update.
You know what? Actually, I'll allow you to call it that here because there's a movie that just came out that I want to watch. It's by our pal Billy Corbin. It's called God
That's
Forbid.
not just coming out. It's
5
the
years
most
ago.
popular documentary in the history
It
of Hulu.
just came out.
No, I mean,
Dan,
it was
you saw the
several
movie.
years
What did
ago.
you think?
It was excellent.
Yeah, why don't you have a turn here?
This household was nuts. James Johnson, his parents, and all 8 siblings have earned black belts of varying degrees. His father, Willie, won 10 national karate titles and 5 world championships, and his mother has captured 5 national titles. That house was nuts. Pablo Torre is with us. Explain to me what happened or what you think happened here, or give us all the information you can give us based on the reporting you've done around Belichick and Mike Lombardi. For Mike Lombardi being, he's been let go on paid administrative leave, and some people are reporting that it's a human resources complaint by a former UNC front office employee, Pete Thamel among them.
Yeah, I mean, so we did an episode about Mike Lombardi 9 months ago on PTFO that was a bit of a deep dive into, like, what is this guy's whole deal? How did he become the highest paid general manager in college football? And it fits into this general understanding of, and you've heard me talk about this endlessly with you guys, but Bill Belichick gets the job to be the highest paid public employee in the state of North Carolina, and his two advisors, the two people on his shoulder, one is Jordan Hudson, as previously exhaustively reported, and the other is Mike Lombardi. And Mike Lombardi, from the beginning, has warned this trail of just not just unlikability, and he was described to me as one of the top 5 least liked people in the entire NFL, but just like actual outright dysfunction. He's had a bit of a pattern of disappearing from jobs, including in the media. And so what we reported in that episode, among many other things, which I'll sort of use to get us back to what was just broken by Pete Thamel, I believe was the first to break the seal on it. He went to Saudi Arabia mysteriously to raise money for North Carolina. We broke that story. That was last summer. He is somebody who has embellished his resume repeatedly. He wrote in his book about how crucial a part he was of the 49ers championship team. And then we talked to Bill Walsh's son, who said, he was getting sandwiches. He got a ring from the Patriots. We reported around the Patriots organization and found that he got basically the sort of ring that you get if you're a family member of a coach. And the person who, of course, directed the awarding of such a gift was Belichick. And so loyalty to Belichick has been his foremost skill and talent this entire time. And what you're seeing now, as this report about this human resources complaint that gets to this paid administrative leave situation, is that at a certain point, what has developed recently is that the University of North Carolina has become immensely frustrated by Jordan Hudson and Mike Lombardi. Jordan Hudson, we've previously talked about on PTFO, has been filing public records requests, Dan, of the university. So just to recap that, the head coach's girlfriend has been making public records filings, requesting my name, requesting other reporters' information, because she does not trust the university. And now Mike Lombardi, you could argue, has the actual steering wheel in terms of just organizational hierarchy. He is now finally being told, you can't be here anymore. And the reporting has been that this is not because of Bill Belichick, but because of the university itself. And so, yes, this vehicle, the North Carolina football team under Belichick, has been as disastrous as literally any program that I think has existed, certainly in recent memory.
Please be more careful with your words. Human resources is the violation, not human rights. That would be a much larger story.
A UN investigation as opposed to UNC's, yeah.
Mike, you have from the world of politics and the world of human rights violations, the White House Correspondents' Dinner was rescheduled, and I want to play some video here. Can you set up the context for Pablo on what needs to be known here from Wolf Blitzer and the gang?
Yeah, for Pablo and the listening audience, because this is surreal and compelling, even if you don't watch it. What I'm about to tell you is this is from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Wolf Blitzer is mere feet away from President Donald Trump as Wolf Blitzer introduces the award winners for the Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability, reporting on Jeffrey Epstein. Now, for the audio listeners, I will describe Donald Trump is just making smiling faces and shrugging his shoulders as this whole thing goes down. Hit it.
This year's award goes to the Wall Street Journal. The Journal's courageous reporting on President Trump's past relationship with financier Jeffrey Epstein triggered the release of the so-called Epstein files, thousands of documents that might otherwise have remained hidden from the public. And despite the president's threat of a lawsuit, the Journal published a story about a provocative letter to Epstein bearing President Trump's signature. Trump quickly filed a $20 billion lawsuit against the Journal, revealing reporter Khadija Safdar's home address. Her family had to be relocated. The Journal was kicked off of Air Force One, but the reporters continue to file revelatory stories. Please welcome the winners of the Katharine Graham Award from the Wall Street Journal.
$20 billion, and he's shrugging and smiling, and it's just
Now he's shaking all their
hands.
hands.
It's all a clown show. Pablo, you've done a lot of reporting on Epstein. I encourage people to look at what he's done with Julie Brown, the Miami Herald reporter, and with others. What are your thoughts here on what would be an otherwise funny video if it wasn't completely tragic?
So I watched this live. I'm the sort of sicko who watches this thing because I was waiting for the main event, which was that. This was the thing that everybody in the political press and beyond was aware was going to be awkward. And what you saw was the president of the United States basically signaling to everybody that he does not see the harm in what it is that he does to our country. And I say that kind of smiling because the video is hilarious, right? Like he had a choice. Donald Trump had a choice. Would you scowl or would you shrug? Would you, even maybe walk away? Or would you stay and shake hands? And all of it has the feeling of a guy for whom this all feels like pro wrestling, even the stuff that you'd imagine would be most damaging, which is to say that the Journal reported in the Epstein birthday book, which you've exhaustively talked about on my show, an illustration drawn by Donald Trump that he then sued over, claiming that it wasn't drawn by him. It was, may every day be another wonderful secret, is what he wrote, or paraphrasing that, to Jeffrey Epstein in the birthday book organized by Ghislaine Maxwell. But here's the subtext to all of it, Dan. If you watch the whole thing, which I unfortunately did, Donald Trump he shows up there, right? Because he wants nothing more than to be liked by the media. Like that's the real bizarre relationship here. It's that he will sue media organizations. He will intimidate the freedom of speech being practiced by people who are trying to bring the truth and the public interest to our country, which is what the Wall Street Journal, which is not known, by the way, as a liberal rag, to be clear, that's what they did. But at the same time, he just so desperately wants people to like him. And I know that because in his speech, which was an hour and a half, roughly, he explicitly said, basically, why don't you like me more? I talk to all of you guys. Why don't you like me? And he was saying it with a bit of a smile again, but it just revealed what this is all about, which is he wants to walk into a room and feel like anyone there is a fan of his. And even the reporters who reported that stuff about him, that was his mode that he went to, which made everybody feel like they're going insane because that's the only priority across his entire political existence he has ever had.
Pablo Torre Finds Out is the name of the podcast. It is exploding. Everyone loves it. High praise from every corner of the universe. Thank you, Pablo. And I urge you to check out what he's done on Epstein because that stuff is also very thorough, very interesting, and it's not stuff that I've seen in a whole lot of places. So his library, his catalog is very impressive. Thank you, Pablo. Good talking to you.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
I'm going to give you an item from Sam Quinn of CBS on LeBron before moving on to other subjects. 37 players in the NBA last season touched the ball at least 68.4 times per game. Weird number, that one. 5 of them play for the Sixers. It's Maxey, it's Edgecombe, it's LeBron James, it's Joel Embiid, it's Jaylen Brown. It's going to be fascinating. It really is, to see whether this thing works or it implodes. Before we get to Gearhead, Mike is making subtle allusions here that it is time to get to Gearhead. I'm not ready quite yet to get to Gearhead. I have, for your perusal, for everyone's perusal here, 5 football stories, 5 of them. And I want you guys to tell me which is the most interesting of the 5 American football stories. 1, Aaron Donald is going through the regimented process of trying to rejoin the Rams. Kyle Shanahan has been in a terrible accident that got 40 stitches on his face. It broke his nose, his ribs, his hand. He got a severe concussion. He's not even capable of actually running his team.
40 stitches on the face. You look like Frankenstein.
You think 40 stitches on the face is worse than ribs broken, nose broken, hand
Yes.
broken? Because that's one hell of an accident, and the severe concussion is terrible as well. Tyreek Hill says he has no power in his leg and has, it looks like, no free agent value a month before or less than a month before camps open. Tony Romo quietly gets an OWI, which I don't know what that is. I just thought it was DUI or DWI. I don't know what an OWI is.
Operating? I think it's operating.
Do you guys know what an OWI is and the difference between an OWI and a DUI and a DWI? Because the only classifications I have heard are DUI and DWI, and I don't know what an OWI is.
I don't know, Dan.
And then the other one is Diego Pavia being released by the Ravens before they've even thrown a football. Like, he went out there the way Tony went out to FIU and threw an imaginary football, and then they waived him. And this whole Pavia experience, man, if you're a cocky quarterback, you better be good. Like, if you're going to be the guy who wants to break all the
Well, if
rules.
they give us the balls, we can actually show us that we're good. Like, what am I supposed to do? Throwing an imaginary football?
Better be taller than Shakira.
It seems that OWI and DUI are just based off states. Like, they're just referred to as different things.
But am I right? Is it operating?
Yes. Operating while intoxicated versus driving under the influence.
Yeah.
It's just state by state. They call it different things.
Which is the most interesting of those stories? Do we have different votes, or does the group have a uniform and consensus number one from among those five?
Shanahan. Next time we see him, it's like Frankenstein.
That's not even the interesting part about it. It's who replaced him.
Does America understand who replaced him? Because this is quite the comeback story. I'm willing to do a Metal Arc documentary on this and a 30 for 30 if anyone's interested, because this is a story of real redemption. And I did not see a path all those years ago when the only story that the Miami Dolphins produced in a single season that made national headlines was an offensive line coach who was snorting cocaine or a powder that looked like cocaine off his desk while sending it to a sex worker in Las Vegas because cocaine and sex evidently is a magical combination.
Right. I mean, that stuff has happened before in sports, but rarely do you ever have video as compelling. That's what kind of separated it.
I mean, he had those grains in his nose.
Selfie mode in like a meeting room.
The big grains.
Chris Forster is his name, and he deserves to outlive the shame of that. I just didn't think he would.
You know about those big grains?
I did not have a situation where this would run the mighty 49ers dynasty that is being undone only by the power plant next door that continues to injure its players and make them brittle. But I don't believe that most people reading this story, is this that you guys are choosing that as the most interesting one? Because I just gave you 5 really good football stories to chew on. The Diego Pavia experience,
good,
that's a little bit crazy. They haven't even gotten to camp. Like, they've seen enough. They've seen enough that he can't be the 4th string quarterback when Skylar Thompson's the 3rd stringer.
Tough look.
Yeah, why is it that crazy? Like Diego Pavia, it's like he even got a chance. He's tiny.
Tyreek Hill, too. He's got his bad leg.
You didn't even mention Vrabel. You saw Vrabel over the weekend? It's like, here's a dog. I dare you to ask me tough questions.
He used the dog as a meat shield.
So many to chew on, but they're all in the pit because we're taking some left turns.
What do you mean?
No, you said before we get to it. All right, so we'll decide. Guys, we were racing at the Brickyard. I mean, one of the most famous tracks in all the world. And there was a really interesting story here. Michael Jordan wins at the Brickyard in back-to-back years, but he doesn't win with a full-time driver. That's right. A part-time driver has taken the NASCAR scene by storm. Corey Haim already won in Coronado Base at San Diego. He had a top 10 finish at Chicagoland Speedway. He is not eligible for the playoff format in NASCAR because he is not a full-time Cup Series driver. He only races occasionally for 2311. That's the racing team that Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin co-own. And while this race didn't have action, the fact that Corey Heim has done this, being a part-timer. He had a lot of success in the Truck Series, is pretty amazing. He's 24 years old. And while the race wasn't super compelling, there was one great moment where another young hotshot, Carson Hocevar, who, along with Spire Motorsports, has had a tremendous season, Carson gave Corey Heim the middle finger during the race. And the great studio team, led by Marty Smith, our great friend over there at TNT and ESPN, asked Corey Heim if he saw it.
I want to get your thoughts on it. You and Hocevar, well documented. You've raced each other very hard over the time. Well, right here, I want to know, did you see this?
Nope.
I thought you would be looking at your commitment line, but your mate came by and told you were number one.
Handed them a big fat L after that one.
Heim time, talking that shit for every lap. Keep it fun. Keep it Cuervo.
Chris Cody, did you have a vote for me? Aaron Donald snuck under the radar with all of you guys there.
What was his story again? Yes, I wanted the headline. What was it?
That he has to go through a regimented process. The Rams are in the process of going through a regimented process to bring him back after 2 years of retirement. That is horrifying if you are an offensive line and it's Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald. Like, that's just, it's not in any way reasonable. It's not fair. I don't understand how the Rams can afford this. The Rams also have now, they've replenished their cornerbacks when they were, we can say they're a punt return away from being what the Seahawks were, right? Like a punt return or a bounce in that just the most spectacular Thursday night game in the history of Thursday night games was the Seahawks coming back against the Rams after being dominated by the Rams, and the Rams going from a 1 seed to a 5 seed, and they replenished the Rams came as close as you can come without being in the Super Bowl to having a team that we would all acknowledge is worthy of the Super Bowl, including having an MVP at quarterback. Aaron Donald finds this enticing enough. That seems like an unpleasant position to play. Finds this enticing enough after 2 years to say, you know what? I want back in the game, and I want back in the game because of how easy Myles Garrett is going to make things. But we have to break away from that story to show you Mike Vrabel entering a press box or entering a press conference with a dog as a meat shield, daring anyone to ask him a tough question when he's got the dog cradled under his right arm. Let's show this, please.
That time of year. I'll do my best here with BB. Okay, so welcome everybody. Good to see you guys.
Dog's terrible.
The dog doesn't want any tough questions.
What could have been better? Maybe like a first responder. Just like arm in arm with a first responder.
A whale.
A teacher.
Save the whales, and he's got a whale behind him.
A teacher of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before I start here, I'd like to honor Miss McGillicuddy here, who...
It's got to be a puppy, though, right? It's got to be a cuter dog than it. Not that there's anything wrong with that dog.
What's the matter with you?
Look,
I think that might be a puppy. Yeah. Just a big puppy.
It needs to be a smaller puppy. I'm going to find the way to criticize this. I'm going to find the way to. It's hard. You got to work at it. But he could have chosen a better dog. He could have chosen a dog that would have made the questions even softer.
So you're taking issue with the type of dog.
If you want to have the correct dog, if you want to have the correct dog, that is correct. That is what I'm doing.
You are zagging, my friend.
That is correct. If you want to have the correct dog, it has to be a dog whose paws are too big for its body. It has not yet learned how to walk correctly, and its paws make it a little extra clumsy. That dog doesn't look like it's clumsy enough if it were somewhere other than under the armpit of the disgraced coach of the New England Patriots.
Now, as he entered the room, he said it's that time of year again, which leads me to believe that this is a move that he has done before. However, he must have been really happy with the timing of that time of year this year.
Do you think the debate is do you come out with a puppy in that spot to avoid the tough questions, or a Make-A-Wish kid? I'm going to go with the puppy.
Maybe you have like chocolates for everyone. You just start walking around the room. Here, have a chocolate.
A tray, like a tray of gourmet chocolates, like the finest, not just regular chocolates, not just, you don't want like a Halloween bowl filled with like little Snickers snacks. You want to have
high quality,
the gourmet chocolates. The question I wanted to ask you guys around the Kyle Shanahan story is, Have you ever heard of a coach being disabled before a season starts from being able to coach his team because he gets into an accident so severe 2 months before the season that he has a broken nose, a broken hand, broken ribs, and 40 stitches on his face, and a concussion so bad that we need someone else to run the team while he recovers? Like, what kind of precedent is there for that?
The Showtime Lakers.
I was going to say, I just watched that a few weeks ago for the first time. That's almost exactly what happened. He was like 15 games.
It was a bicycle accident, right? It was it wasn't a car accident with an SUV,
right?
But it was a bad enough accident that is that how Pat Riley got his chance?
That is correct.
With one coach
Paul,
removed.
No, yeah,
Paul Westhead.
Yeah,
Paul
but
Westhead. Yeah.
It was a domino, no doubt.
I remember that episode. That episode in the show.
But Riley became assistant coach as a result of the accident. Yes.
Jack McKinney was the name of the coach. By the way.
The Kyle Shanahan story sort of came out of nowhere, where you're reading this weekend that the accident is severe enough that the team that was at the top of the conference for the 10 years before the Rams and Seattle started fighting over the top of the conference, this coach being out and then being replaced by Chris Forrester, whose claim to fame in football, outside of football, to those who aren't in the game, the claim to fame that he has is he's got a scandal unlike any other assistant coach in the history of the league, where during the video age, he was betrayed by a sex worker who put out the video of him snorting blow, or what appeared to be blow, off of what appeared to be his desk at work while trying to lure her into another rendezvous.
While making guttural noises.
I like how careful we're being. It was like we're doing appeared and allegedly on this one. That one was he told us as much. It wasn't a car accident, but Bruce Arians became coach of the year and an eventual Super Bowl champion because Chuck Pagano got ill.
Was that before the season?
I'm not even sure. It might have been like right before.
The Tyreek Hill story, I think, is also interesting because his leg shattered in a way that made me wonder at the time, is that career threatening? Is that career ending? And then for some reason, Greg Cody immediately just believed Drew Rosenhaus when he said the surgery was great, everything will be fine, he'll be ready and valuable and himself again next season. But at this point, it is really, really rare for somebody to have that kind of talent that you will overlook everything else because he's got that kind of talent, where you're watching a football game and you're looking at somebody and you're like, he's faster than everyone else. There are a bunch of athletes on the field and he's the fastest one. He's the one that's allowed to play at that size. No one else at that size is on the field. He's the one that's allowed to play at that size because he's faster than everyone else. And what becomes the mark on the line on we will not look past all of the other reasons it's hard to sign you? Oh, he can't run anymore. He can't actually run faster than anyone anymore. And so no one's interested. That he is jobless right now. No one's even taking a flyer on the idea of we'll offer you something small just to wish, just to see if we've got something in camp. This would be the easiest thing in the world for the Chiefs to do, would it not? Just to but they've got their own problems with misbehaving wide receivers. Why are they going to welcome something back into their locker room that's not as fast as it used to be?
We didn't even mention this weekend Brandon Ayuk, who there's something going on there. He claims he purchased a $10 million home in Virginia this weekend.
That whole story's crazy.
Because he plays for the Commanders now.
I don't like that. I don't like that story one bit. Tyreek probably will get a chance if his body recovers. No one's taking a chance on him because look what he said about his leg. Who would sign anybody? It could be Jerry Rice.
Oh, because you can get this person cheap. This is the lowest that the value is ever going to be on something like this, and so you're just going risk versus reward.
Yeah, but it can happen towards the later end of the season or possibly next season. It seems like the recovery's not going well by his own admission, and it seemed like a really bad injury as it happened.
The Tony Romo story, whether you're calling it OWI, DWI, or anything else, where are we on Tony Romo broke into broadcasting as one of the most seismic developments in the history of broadcasting? It is really sports broadcasting. It is really rare for someone to start as a novice on broadcast television on one of the single greatest platforms and immediately get nothing but applause when the person has no experience. And the reason he was getting nothing but applause is because this is the primary reason. It's not just his affection for the game or his enthusiasm. The primary reason was that Tony Romo is the first guy I've ever heard in the history of sports broadcasting who was so recently in the game and had such fluency for what it is that he was watching that he was impressing everybody by telling you what was going to happen before it happened. There has been nobody in the history of my sports broadcasting watching that has been able to do what Tony Romo did. But the evolution of the game changes so much that once he lost that parlor trick, almost immediately, what was Tony Romo's stock started going down with everyone, including his employers, who reportedly had an intervention because they didn't think he was working hard enough at what he was doing. But why would you if you were getting tens of millions of dollars and you come out with a splash? And there's never been a novice of any sort in broadcasting who gets that much applause for, like, I can't believe how good he is at picking plays before they happen.
It's like, this is easy. Wow, you just want me to go up here and say what I see? All right, cool.
Yeah, now he's kind of entered the John Madden realm of, I'm just tuning in for the guttural noises.
Yeah.
Has his star diminished enough that you guys are thinking that whatever it is between him and Nance that make them one of the premier broadcast teams in the league, but no longer the premier broadcast team in the league by observers, that you think, given that his employers had to stage what was called an intervention to get him to work harder, now you have an incident like this that doesn't have, obviously, the kind of shame that would end someone like Mark Sanchez's career, but it has a shame involved that if you were looking for a reason to get rid of somebody, this kind of publicity is reason enough.
They were the unquestioned leaders as far as best booth that people tuned in on. Now I think, Buck and Aikman, who are calling a Super Bowl this year, I believe, pass Mike Tirico, Collinsworth ahead of them. And one of the forgotten storylines as people weighed in with a ton of Tom Brady takes yesterday was a forgotten part of last season where Tom Brady really improved towards the latter part of last season and was actually pretty spectacular for the bar that he established in the postseason.
Can we talk a little bit about what we talked about briefly with Jessica last week, where I've always found what I'm about to say interesting, okay? Over the course of my sports lifetime, generally speaking, the very best at something, whether it's Derek Jeter or Michael Jordan, somebody who's regarded as the greatest in their sport, when those people aren't actually interesting in interviews or as personality types, when the excellence is just on the field, the marketers, the managers, all of those people will make it so that their story gets told in a way that makes them greater and more interesting than they are. Nike went and got Spike Lee to make Michael Jordan's commercials. Michael Jordan has never been terribly interesting as a talker. Michael Jordan is interesting as a player. His art speaks for him. But this has been the case for a lot of great athletes. We'll write the mythology around them, okay? This is something that we do. And in those instances, them being reclusive or mysterious serves the mythology. Let the writers, let the storytellers handle the storytelling. You just handle the play. We've got the marketing. There's been a backlash against Tom Brady because he's a little too available. Tom Brady in the social media age is coming off as, hey, you're like Michael Jordan when he was wearing the dad jeans. We want you to be more excellent than that. We want you to be less available to us. We don't want to see you everywhere cheapening your excellence by doing a bad bit with Logan Paul. What's happening with Tom Brady, where now that the broadcasting has actually gotten a little better and isn't terrible, now the coolness is dripping away where a whole lot of people are, I'm seeing too much of you. I'd like to see a little bit less of you.
I think it's a little bit of midlife crisis. I really do, where he's trying stuff. He wants to do stuff that he has never been allowed to do, essentially. I mean, look, he's only got one life. We only have one life. And 20 years, whatever it was in the NFL, he wasn't allowed to do any of this crap. And now it's just like, you know what? F it. I want to have a little bit of fun, even if it makes me look weird.
I mean, that continues something that carried on in Tampa, where it seemed as though, all right, I did the Patriot way for long enough, and what Zaz is saying appears to be playing out. The wrestling thing is a little weird.
Yeah, that I think is weird.
I don't know if he'll get talked out of that, but I know people that swear by Good Nut, that he is sitting on an empire with what he's doing there. He's leveraging his name recognition. I like his athletic wear line. I like Tom Brady, and I think you mentioned Michael Jordan. He's that class. We should stop saying you're the Michael Jordan of something, because that's open for debate. In American football, king sport in this country, Tom Brady passed that 6 rings thing, and he did it at an age where we've never seen possible. He's the greatest.
Zaz, you know about that Good Nut?
I don't, actually.
The business that Tom Brady believes in, that keeps him very young and keeps him nutritionally sound, that he swears by. Like, he does absolutely have some health secrets that I think are worth admiring, because he played till 45 years old in football and clearly had some science help. Whatever it is that he was doing organically, he had some help there that actually proved to be visionary.
He's ruined it for every other elite quarterback that was his contemporary. We hold it against him that they can't do what Tom Brady did. Aaron Rodgers is being looked at as sad. Oh, look at how you run out onto the field as a New York Jet. Look how washed Drew Brees was towards the end. The only guy that ever came close to impressing me as much as what Phillip Rivers did last year, which is still not talked about enough.
Phillip Rivers coming off of the couch, having the body as if he had been on the couch, still having the Cheeto crumbs on his fingers when he would throw some of those out routes.
He went down to the wire at the eventual Super Bowl champions.
Look at the stats from that game.
The thing that I wanted to address, though, as it related to Tom Brady, we like our immortals to be immortal, to feel immortal. And I've got a couple of friends that I make fun of because they live over here in what I call Sad Dad Village, where it's just a bunch of divorced dads. We know a little bit too much about his life. We know a little bit too much about the jiu-jitsu instructor. We know a little bit too much about the fact that he's wandering the earth right now as a single man. And it's not something that looks quite as excellent as his immortality. We can agree on that, right? Like there's next to nothing that he can do that looks as excellent as his immortality. But I think Mike's, if not alone, I think Mike's in the minority on both liking Tom Brady and liking what he's doing right now. I think a lot of people are doing a recoiling and a judging about some of the things that Tom Brady is doing in public. If I'm arriving at the conclusion that people want to see a little less of Tom Brady.
I think the Logan Paul was the tipping point. I think that has really started this conversation.
Because people don't like Logan Paul?
It's weird. Like, what? Wait, hold on. You're collabing with the YouTube guy, Logan Paul, who everyone believes is unlikable, and then you add in the WWE part. I think it's his version of acting. Like, he's not a movie star. He's not going to be in movies. But, oh, wait, WWE, that's acting. I could do that.
He's totally going to spin that to a win. If it goes, how ridiculous is it going to be to watch Tom Brady in some sort of wrestling match against Logan Paul?
He's going to wrestle Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia.
Everybody is going to be into that. Everybody is going to be curious. It is going to get people talking. I understand the overexposing thing and people not liking his personality. I think there are guys that are just so great that I'm good not doubting them.
Phillip Rivers off the couch, 18 for 27, a touchdown and a pick, 120 yards.
I enjoyed watching him.
We did doubt because we felt like we had enough representative data to suggest, Tom Brady, you are just a bad commentator. I came out and said it. I'm like, this isn't working.
You did
and from the moment I said it, I'm done doubting Tom Brady.
I'm done believing in the Marlins for the same reason. As soon as I said they were a playoff team, they lost 12 straight. Franchise record. As soon as I said it.
Their AAA's lost 12 in a row, too.
12.
Oh, my God.
That can't be true.
It's true.
Yesterday they were up 3-0 headed into the 8th. They allow a 4 spot in the 8th. They've lost. They got swept by the Padres. They got swept by the Brewers. These are good teams. They got swept by the Guardians, and they got swept by the Astros. Less good of a team, but they got swept by everybody, and it's 12 straight losses. Has there been a losing streak that long in baseball this year? This is a franchise record. The Marlins they've had some bad teams. They've never lost 12 in a row before. Has there been a losing streak that long in the sport? There are a number of things about the sport in its present form that I don't understand. Salvador Perez being the Kansas City Royals home run leader over George Brett is something I will never accept.
He's still playing?
Yeah. And he looks exactly the way that he would look if he were still playing in like the Venezuelan league or the Mexican league or 10 years past his prime. Let's call it chunky and leave it at that. He's the Royals' career leader in home runs, and that's morally offensive. You can't put that ahead of George Brett. It's simply wrong.
Very few baseball things come across my desk, Dan, and one thing that came across my desk this weekend, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mizorowski? Is that
Jacob
Mizorowski
striking out the first.
He threw 112 miles an hour?
No. That can't be right.
He threw 112 miles an hour.
That's not it. You read
but
it
the guy
wrong.
went Oppo
Might have
Taco
been
on him.
112 100-mile-an-hour pitches. That's more likely.
There is no chance.
There's no way.
There's no
right.
Tony.
He threw 111 miles an hour.
I
that's all.
understand your confusion.
It came across my desk, Dan, though, so I got to check.
You read it wrong. It's
Your
incorrect.
desk is stupid.
My desk?
Yeah.
I've seen your desk. Your
Yeah.
desk is stupid.
I'm not saying things like someone throwing 112 miles an hour. Your desk is stupid.
The person that passed me the paper, not
Put
me.
it on the poll. Is Tony's desk stupid? I didn't get an advanced
How
screening.
cliche, a pool boy.
This movie, yes, and distinctly Cuban pool boy. Like, just not actually a pool man, a very pool boy. A Cuban kid who's not fully grown up, who was having sex with the wife of Jerry Falwell's sons, the president of Liberty University, his wife, and he liked to watch it in a corner of the room while he was wearing very little clothing.
This is why it's called World Cup.
All right, get back in this seat here. Get back in the seat here that is a prominently featured seat. That concludes our first ever World Cup update.
I came for the 60 Minutes thing, literally, and it was awesome. But I stuck around for the thoughts on the Odyssey.
Okay, the episode is titled, it's a couple days ago, if you want to go back wherever you get your podcasts. Over the last couple days, something interesting and funny has happened.
You were talking about good numbers.
Where I have realized that Mike, and Dan for that matter, okay, because I got this from Dan as well 2 days ago. I am realizing Mike and Dan are listening to Zaslow Show 2.0 for the very first time.
No, I listen. I listen to Zaslow Show 2.0 whenever I guest on it. I love the sound of my own voice.
So that's what I've realized because I got a call from Dan a couple days ago. And he he loved it. He listened to the whole episode.
Shirtless FaceTime in bed.
And I don't expect him. I don't expect him to listen to the whole episode. All right, like episodes are about 45 minutes. I don't expect him to listen to the whole episode, but he clearly sat there. Maybe it was in his car. Maybe it was shirtless in bed. I don't know. And listened to the whole episode, and he loved it and said such nice things. I'm like, that's awesome. And it's also very clearly the first time he's ever heard the show.
Yeah, I've listened to it like 7 times because I've been on it 6. Yeah. So I like the Zaslow Show 2.0.
You enjoyed it a couple days ago.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think I've heard like ones here and there. Like when we made the finals in hockey and in basketball, I'm like, yeah, let me listen to a caretaker of South Florida
That's
sports
right.
and do his character bit. I love it. I'm a huge fan.
It's not a character.
Yeah, it is. You do. Come on, you have a bit. You're amplified like The Rock. Any hoodles. I stuck around for the thoughts on the Odyssey, which I thought I got them all.
You loved my thoughts on the Odyssey.
Well, it starts. We get off to a real hot start because the way that you start.
See, I have a hard time remembering. I wish I could remember exactly
Here's
what I'm
how
saying.
It started. Tony, who doesn't know his elbow from his asshole.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's just this.
Getting it straight on a podcast. You can at least invite me on and tell me.
If anybody knows 2 things about me, number 1, I'm not a cuck, and number 2, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. I always tell the truth.
Tony. Who doesn't know his elbow from his asshole?
What was the context there?
I don't know. I do 3 different shows. I do this show, I do Zaslow Show 2.0, and I do ESPN Radio. I can't keep track of
and
what
Mystery
I said
Crate.
on each. And 4. Yeah. And Mystery Crate.
But the Bolivian cut is Zaslow Show 2.0.
Yes.
That is the Zaz talking to nobody else, which is why he's developed. It's become his personality. The reason why he creates all these different voices, and he's having a conversation with himself.
Yeah.
And so he has like these really eccentric parts of his personality that are essentially a cast. Yeah. It's a one-man ensemble. It's great. I'm a big fan. And when you said Tony doesn't know his elbow from his asshole, I'm like, all right, I'm in. But then you started going down your review of the Odyssey, and I was familiar with some of the takes.
What a movie.
But then I found out you were a racist.
What?
Yeah, you were a racist.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, now I could be mishearing
Why
things.
would you say
Yeah,
it?
why would you
Why
be
would
a
you
racist?
say that?
Why are you a racist, dog?
Why are you making things up?
All right, so for the audience, we did clip this section where,
You better not be taking me out of context here.
No,
You're gonna play
I'm
something.
applying all the context I possibly can. I wasn't in
right.
charge of grabbing the context.
All right.
But I was in charge of being the driving force of calling you a racist.
So what am I talking about here?
Play the clip.
People are having a go at the movie for 2 reasons. Number 1, for Lupita Nyong'o.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow. Are you turned on?
Do you like
dangling
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
A little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Intimate.
Dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humps.
You never know.
I've been dry humps.
Many, many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Have you ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, are you guys ready? Because this is very exciting. This would have been the top 10. A reminder that we are on in vastly more places than we have ever been on. If you want to get us by podcast, it's Apple, it's Spotify, it's Amazon Music. It's also as a radio show on Sirius XM Channel 85. You can watch us, the video of this show, on YouTube, obviously, but also Peacock and NBC Sports Now, Monday through Friday from 12 to 3 Eastern. And also, if you want to join us in the future, it's not just DraftKings Network. It's Samsung TV Plus, the Roku channel, Vizio, Watch Free Plus, and an assortment of other places as people fracture and splinter how they consume this stuff. And people are now making their own menu on how they watch and consume this stuff. So thank you for wherever it is that you may. Find us these days.
Happens to me once a month.
How they watch and consume this stuff. So thank you for wherever it is that you may find us these days.
Happens to me once a month.
How they watch and consume this stuff. So thank you for wherever it is that you may find us these days.
Happens to me once a month.
this around. This happened a little bit suddenly to me, okay? Because the Warriors, it wasn't that long ago that their management was being quoted as saying, we're light years ahead of everybody when they got Kevin Durant. And the offseason was brutal enough that I think it's fair if the conversation in the Bay Area is, hey, when are you going to get Steph some help? You guys going to get Steph some help? What are you guys doing with Steph? Like, Steph is not going to be a player in the national conversation this year because everyone that's watching that team knows it is not good enough to get past OKC and San Antonio. So I do believe the conversation will start at some point. Is Steph intending to end his career there? Because they've got a lot of people that they have to get. When you look at Klay Thompson's probably going to be a member of the Miami Heat. Forgiveness, please, for those of you who climbed on me because I said Klay Thompson has bounced around the league the last couple of years. He's just been bad in Dallas. It just felt like he's been bad in a lot of different places, but it was just Dallas because it was a traveling road show. Dallas would go to other cities, and I just saw it bouncing around the league. His shots were also bouncing around the league. Like, it was the worst season of his career, but Draymond is old. Klay is old, Kevin Durant is old, and Steph Curry is old, and now Steph Curry stands alone at what used to be a champion that has fallen out of the playoffs in that conference. I think it's fair to question, hey, how'd you go from light years ahead to light years behind?
I think they're going to stink. I think they're going to stink this year.
And if they stink, then or certainly around the trade deadline, that's going to be a conversation, unless he comes out during training camp and says, I'm fully committed to ending my career here.
My guess is he is fully committed to ending his career there. The reality is the Warriors should trade him, all right? Like, it's a very similar spot that Giannis was in Milwaukee, where what's actually best for both the player and the team is to trade Giannis. You're past the point of being able to win with him because you've traded away all your assets. The Warriors, it would expedite in a hurry that next phase after Steph Curry's done. If they were to trade Steph Curry, you would still get a lot for Steph Curry if you traded him this year. So I believe Curry will absolutely want to stay in Golden State. Golden State should consider at some point trading Steph Curry.
If you're light years ahead of everybody, as you have claimed, you absolutely trade him, because I don't believe that you still have the window open on getting him the things that he would need to compete this year. But let's bring in somebody who knows more than us on these subjects, former front office insider Amin El-Hassan. Let's bring him in to talk about the idea of what kind of haul does Steph Curry get right now? Because I want to make the argument that Steph Curry is worth more to other teams than he is to Golden State, but the sentimental value of having that kind of star, the announcement your organization makes to its customers, getting rid of that guy, that one hurts in a way that's unusual. That one hurts more than most players leaving most teams, given that he's the scrappy underdog, the small guy, the best shooter in the history of the league. I mean, what are your thoughts on what it is that we're presently discussing, that the next freedom that's going to be sought by a major star player in that league that's going to be coveted and create a lot of talk is Steph Curry?
Yeah, so the Warriors in Chase Center, Dan, have these suites. They're called bunker suites, in which you're not even outside. You're underneath the bleachers inside this personal place where you have a personal chef, a sommelier, and a big jumbo screen that can play 9 different games or 1 different game. And the trick is with these bunker suites is that they actually do have a set of seats out in the lower bowl if you want to go back, pop up, and watch the game. But they're kind of like in the 7-8 rows off the floor, not like your typical luxury suite. These seats have cameras over them so that when you're in the bunker, if you want to say, I want to watch the game, but I don't want to watch the TV broadcast. I want to watch what the game would look like from my seats if I was sitting in those seats. They hit a button, and that wall of screens in that bunker turns into the actual view, meaning you can see both baskets. There's no camera pan. It's like you're sitting out there. They don't do that for D'Angelo Russell and, what's his name? Bobby Portis to be running up and down the floor. They do that because people pay a ton of money to see Steph Curry. There is so much money that's being made by the Warriors by just having this dude there that any conversation about, oh, they should trade him, you're out of your mind. There is no way they're trading him, not until he says, get me the hell out of here. I hate it here. But that's the only time they're going to move.
But my question, just like Zaz, the value is now. So they'd get a haul for him. They would get a haul for him. And I know that that organization has been a nowhere franchise before he got there. So I understand. I am not confused about what you're saying his value is. I'm just telling you his value drops elsewhere from now going forward. Like, if you're an organization who's interested in making your franchise better, now is the time to do this.
Dan, what I'm telling you is you're telling me his value basketball-wise.
Yes.
That sounds real sportsy. And I'm telling you that billionaires love money more than anything else. The guy brings in money, even as his basketball value may become zero maybe this year or close to it. He makes so much money for them, they are going to ride it till the wheels fall off.
So, when we get the report then over the weekend, I think it was Tim Kawakami out there at San Francisco Chronicle that says Joe Lacob is focusing on what the roster is going to look like post-Steph Curry. Well, that's not true then.
No, you can do that without trying to trade Steph Curry.
No, but I'm saying if you are actually focused on what the roster is going to look like post-Steph Curry,
right?
Like this would be the way to go about that.
Zaz, are you focused on your financial wherewithal beyond this year?
Not really.
Beyond 2026? You're not?
No.
Okay, is anyone? Okay, this is called a yes and, guys. Can someone raise
I have
their
a
hand?
401k.
Okay, thank you.
I'm worried about retirement and
all right, Mike,
future finances.
Mike,
I'm
you're
sorry I
focused on
screwed
your
that up.
future.
Yes.
But Mike, you're focused on your future.
Yes, sir.
Mike, are you actively trying to sell your house right now? Because the value is great.
No.
Okay. Guys, this isn't hard. It's a business. I know you guys are like, team, sports. It's a business.
That's me.
And if the basketball is not outweighing the money, then no one is going to make a move unless the basketball says we have to make a move. And what that means is Steph Curry walks into Joe Lacob's office and Mike Dunleavy's office and says, guys, I can't do this anymore. Now, that might be coming soon. We all know Steve Kerr came this close to not coming back. And I don't think Steph Curry has a great desire to play for someone not named Steve Kerr. But having said that, until that happens, they hold on because every last dollar matters.
But what if it's a Father of the Bride 2 situation where Eugene Levy tries to pay you double what it's worth?
Yeah.
I'm not looking to sell my house, but if someone comes over and tries to offer me triple for the house, I start considering.
What does that look like in basketball terms for a 38-year-old who's due to make $63 million?
Man, that guy can play till he's 60. There are
Sure.
good bones on
By
that
the way,
house.
That's $63 million. That's a one-year deal, right? He's like, you can't extend him. He's not extension eligible. And by the way, there's no promise that if I overpay to get Steph Curry that he's going to want to stay. There's risks involved with this that kind of mitigate how good of a package they could get in return.
Let's do Stugatz's Amin's weekend observations.
We
It
can
is
just
time for
Amin.
to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Amin.
What are the ethics on that? If we just clip his and play him here, is that cool? No? Okay. Weekend Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with light. I just figured, we're doing twice the work. We could just... Dan! LeBron announces he's going to Philly. And the world goes to shit. Everyone lost their damn minds. People in Golden State blaming GM Mike Dunleavy. You should have done more. People in Cleveland angry at James Harden. This is your fault. He doesn't want to play with you. And one guy in Miami who wants the guy who runs Fanatics Fest to be investigated.
Who was that?
The last time I heard an allegation that far-fetched and illogical, we ended up electing the guy 4 years later.
That is not me.
On second thought, carry on. That seems to be working pretty well. WNBA All-Star Weekend in Chicago was a blast. Thursday night, I went to the Together party. And at the end of the night, I went to a McDonald's that looked like an Apple store. I decided then and there, I've had enough excitement for one. Hey, there it goes. That's a McDonald's. I've had enough excitement for one weekend. I flew home. That was it. Thursday night was all I could do. Ross Chaffetz, son of Portland Trailblazers co-owner Richard Chaffetz, retweeted a post about the possibility of St. Louis landing an NBA franchise. In the post, they had a picture of what I presume to be the venue that would house said NBA franchise. It's called Chaffetz Arena.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not a great name.
I'm sure there's no relation. They gone. Kyle Kuzma, tweeting critically about New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani. It's like Mike Ryan's weird alien dog giving a dissertation on molecular biology.
Why you keep going after Mike Ryan's beautiful dog, Roma?
It's not beautiful. I told you guys. Yeah, look. I've seen some good-looking dogs. Lenny Kimes, good-looking dog. Looks like he's dumb as a box of rocks, but he's a good-looking dog.
Mike, you letting him
Mike's
talk like
dog?
this?
I've made it known
And
I'm
by the
not
way-
a fan of this bit.
While we're on the topic of dogs, why would a dog be a meat shield? Like, are we not going to ask questions because a dog might get upset? Oh, no, they asked about the infidelity. Ooh, the dog doesn't speak English, guys. You can ask away. It's not like bringing a child. You can ask whatever you want. I'll give Kuz $100 if he can point out New York City on a map. Without using AI, of course.
It is funny. If I tell you somebody's headed into the political sphere with a lot of opinions, it's Kyle Kuzma. That's a funny name to give you. Like if I chose all of the names in all of sports and told you, hey, you know who's down on Mondani? Kyle Kuzma.
I think there's something weird going on with Kuzma's Twitter.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe he's like putting topics through ChatGPT or something. I don't know.
Of
I think
course
there's
he
something
is.
weird going on. Okay. Right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, all right.
Can we throw the tweet up back for a second? I know that's hard to go backwards, but like, look at the language.
Yeah. Yeah.
A mayor playing president, a founder playing Colorado, a content creator playing one-on-one, think he's a pro, a 25-year-old, nobody building, everyone audition. That's ChatGPT saying, "What's up, y'all? I'm here."
Yeah.
This dude, man. That's why I said pointing out on a map without using AI. They point to Russia, probably. Johnny Infantino accusing unnamed critics of planting seeds of hate. Was this before or after he didn't stick up for the Somali ref who wasn't admitted to the country? I'm just checking what seeds of hate look like for Johnny Infantino. Cinephobe, episode 318, Rambo 3.
Ooh, I've never seen Rambo.
Starring Sylvester Stallone and Richard Crenna. A movie where Rambo teaches the Mujahideen of Afghanistan how to make IEDs and use guerrilla warfare to defeat a stronger imperialist armed force. I shit you not, the movie ends with a dedication to the, quote, gallant people of Afghanistan. Unquote. It also stars Kurtwood Smith, a.k.a. the dad from That 70s Show, a.k.a. the bad guy from RoboCop.
He's so bad in RoboCop.
What's the famous line from RoboCop, Zaz? His famous line.
Oh, I'm going to feel so stupid. I don't remember, though.
Not a movie guy. Bitches, out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, it was leave, not out. Leave.
I leave. My bad. I stand corrected.
Look at that.
Cinevote, wherever you get podcasts.
Roy, the real movie guy, it would appear. Quote correctly. Get your words right. They're valuable.
They played the quote on Cinephobe. You would think you would remember.
Yeah. I haven't listened to the episode yet. That's why I set it up for you guys. There you go. Let's all go listen to the episode together. Dejanay Carrington woke up and chose to be Nino Brown in the courtroom at the end of New Jack City. She named names. Here they are. Not to be outdone, her ex, Nelissa Smith, went live on Twitch with the saxophone from Boys in the Hood playing. Just like that. Make no mistake, 90s movie references are back. I love it when the kids have appreciation for the classics, you know? LeBron James going to Philly but allegedly will not be living in Philly. Allegedly, he will live in New York City and commute the roughly 2-hour drive to practices and games.
You think he'll drive himself?
Which is about half as long as his daily commute in L.A. was. Oh, traffic humor. Dan, this is your chance to let them know our traffic is way worse than either of those places.
No, it's not worse than Los Angeles. Kobe used to take a helicopter to.
Yeah.
No, I'm not making a joke there. I'm saying Kobe used to avoid the traffic. I'm not making a tasteless joke.
Famously, but yeah, we know how that went. We don't like that. We don't like it.
Just saying that.
We don't like it.
However, LeBron gets from New York to
We don't like
Philadelphia,
it.
I imagine it's the way that Philip Rivers was traveling about 2 hours by bus every day. It wasn't like a Greyhound bus.
Public transportation?
It wasn't. It was. He would travel in a
retrofitted
an
van.
RV that was very comfortable. I don't know how LeBron is. Look, 2-hour commute every day is a long ass commute, and I can't assume that LeBron's going to be doing that by car.
Hey, welcome to L.A. 2-hour commute? They're like, where do you live, around the block? Here's the Science, a bar rescue podcast, hosted by Chelsea Reynolds, a real-life bar and restaurant consultant. Colin Castard, a real-life veteran of the commercial kitchen and food truck scene in Portland. And two guys who commute hours on end to get to an open bar situation, me and Zach Harper. Here's the Science, wherever you get podcasts. Also, live watch-alongs every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern for the Patreons. They told me Tatis went hitless in 5 at-bats, and I said, he's still playing? And they said, nah, that's Fernando Sr.'s son. I was like, oh, okay. Then they told me Bichette had 2 hits last night, and I said, he's still playing? And they said, no, that's Dante's son. And I said, oh. Then they said Scherzer's coming off the IL for a Monday night start, and I said, word, Max Scherzer's son plays and he pitches also. And they said, no, that's still Max Scherzer. I said, to hell with baseball. Speaking of hell, Argentina. That's right. That part is sticking around. Those are the weekend observations. Cry, Messi. Cry. Your T's giving me PEDs. Right in my veins.
Since you're a movie guy, I want to get into this with the entirety of the group here because I don't think that there's been this much talk around a movie, the amount of talk that there is around the Odyssey since Top Gun, since they redid Top Gun. But it is really unusual to have in the modern age where everything is fractured, everybody talking about one movie. In fact, outside of Top Gun and the Odyssey, I'm going to have a hard time having a third one in the last.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah, maybe, but it's
not
still,
like this.
I still think the amount that people are talking about the Odyssey, it is crazy to me. Have you seen it yet, Amin?
Dan, I am both Hollywood's greatest champion and greatest villain. I love movies. I watch a million movies. I will watch the Odyssey soon enough, but I don't go to theaters as often as I do anymore. I only take my kids to movies. But if it's a movie for me, I'll wait for it to come out on streaming, man. Like, I don't see a point in paying $25 to take a nap, which is basically what happens every time I go to the movies.
This is why
I'm going to take a nap.
This is why I'm saying, though, that this is so unusual what's presently happening around the Odyssey, because a lot of people, I believe, have been afflicted by the disease of just things being convenient. And so there are only 25 theaters that this is playing the way that Christopher Nolan would like you to see it. And so I imagine a lot of people are doing what it is that you're doing with the Odyssey. But Zaz here, I asked Zaz to wait and watch it a second time with me and Tony, and we would build some content around me and Tony going to the movies on a date with Zaz. And Zaz couldn't wait. He had to go see it a second time, simply could not wait. And your assessment now is what after seeing it a second time?
Yeah, well, I had to take my father. My father had not seen it yet. I had to take my father. I saw it for a second time. Brought my older son with me also. He's his second time seeing it too, and I liked it even more. I loved it. I loved it even more the second time that I saw it. I was able to notice things that I didn't notice the first time. I was able to pay attention differently. It's an incredible movie.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan makes incredible movies, like except for Tenet. I still don't get it.
That movie sucks.
Every other movie he makes is incredible, and so it's not shocking as a storytelling device. But there's two things for me. Number one is this whole like, oh, you have to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX. No, you don't.
You
man.
don't. You
I went and saw Oppenheimer 70 millimeter IMAX. A bunch of people in a boardroom and in a classroom. Basically, that's a whole movie, right? Oh my God, I could have missed the part where like this airspace here between the top of his head and the top of the screen. Who cares? Who cares? Like, I get the gist of it. Because the most important, I don't know if you guys know this. When you watch a movie, when they make a movie, they put the most important things in the middle, not towards the periphery of the screen. You know why? Because if they did that, it'd be cut off, and then a lot of people be like, I didn't get it. And like, oh, no, you should have seen it. No, this is all a hack and a scam. IMAX, I'm sure, is fun for some people. For me, it's just overkill. Having said that, I have a pretty big screen at home. That movie's going to come out and stream soon enough.
How big?
Like 75 inches? That's pretty good.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is IMAX an overkill scam? And also put it on the poll, have you ever enjoyed a movie more the second time than the first time? Because I would think that to be a fairly unusual experience to enjoy it more the second time.
I think it's the first time it's ever happened to me.
I can't think. As you said it, I was trying to think of, has there ever been a movie? Because part of seeing a movie is the awe of wonder and discovery. So you're seeing it the second time, and even though this is a known story, maybe that's why this is that for you, it's a known story. I want to follow the journey of the story. Once you take that away from me, I'm not as interested in the secondary details. But do you guys have any examples of a movie that you have enjoyed more the second time than the first time? Because I was trying to think of one that I could do that with, and there isn't one. For example, Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies. I did not enjoy it more the second time than the first time.
What?
Because the first time I'm watching it, it's unlike anything I've seen. The second time, I've already seen it. Like, it's the first time, it's unlike anything I've seen. The second time, I just saw something like it.
The second time, you're picking up on all the nuances, all the things that I missed the first time. That's the beauty of seeing a movie the second time, Dan. It's like, wait a second. I've seen this before. I don't remember that guy coming in or that guy saying this or that person in the background. I'll give you another great example. Back to the Future 2. Watched it, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Then I went back and watched Back to the Future 1 to find out all the parts they got from Back to the Future 2, how many of them were reshoots, and how many were just using the archive footage, and I was blown away. Like, oh, I didn't notice the attention to detail. Look, if you love cinema, not everyone does, I get it, but if you love cinema, you find great satisfaction out of rewatching movies, especially the ones with twists. Usual Suspects, the second time I watched it, oh my God, I was like, how could I have missed it?
Yeah.
Right there, he's clearly lying. It's
so
amazing.
The Sixth Sense is like that. Memento is like that. The ones with twists might be that, but the Odyssey's not that.
Sixth Sense, no, because again, as I famously said, as soon as I saw I was like, oh, he's dead. No one else is talking to him but the kid. Like, that one I saw immediately, and it ruined the whole movie for me. So watching it over wouldn't do that for me at all. But Memento, I rewatched Memento recently, and it's a great movie. It's so well made, and there's little details and nuances in particularly with Joey Pants' performance. It's like, oh, yeah, there it is. He's doing it right there, and I didn't realize it at the time because at the time you're just trying to get your bearings.
Dan, I went and watched The Odyssey yesterday.
Did you understand it?
I understood the entire thing. Now I figured out why you want to go see it twice. Good movie. I enjoyed it. Sat front row. Sat front row because that's all they had. Everything. No, at the movie theater over by me and Mike's, the front row is actually better because it's like an entire bed and you can lean back the whole way. So I was looking at it basically from underneath like this.
I'd be asleep 10 minutes in.
That's not a good seat. The front row.
No,
is
you
not
guys
a good
don't get
seat.
it. You guys don't get it. It's a couch. It's a bed that you get to lay in, and they sit.
Tony,
what?
I'm knocked out before the previews are over in that situation. What are you talking about?
You're looking up
He's like, oh, it's
Matt
comfortable.
Damon's
I get to
nose.
lean back.
His giant nose. You're looking up his giant nose. That's not a good. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is the front row ever a good seat in the movie theater?
You got to put
ever.
with a bed. Quotation with a bed.
You're moving your head left and right.
No, I'm looking. I'm right in the middle. I'm right in the middle looking at it. I'm laying down. It's great. It looks incredible.
You don't know what you're talking
I watched it with like 6 old Cuban ladies that were to the right of me. One was ended up being in my seat. Thing is, as you go and you get the beds, you got to make sure you get 2 of them because then you'll be sitting next to a random person.
I don't understand what movie theater is beds. What are these beds you're talking about?
This guy doesn't
beds?
get it.
Do you mean just the reclining chairs that all theaters have at this point?
No, you guys don't get
Beds.
it. You guys don't get it. The one by me and Mike's house is
Like
they
they're
just
sheets?
renovated it. It's perfectly, beautifully amazing.
Your desk is stupid.
I'll show you a picture of it.
I mean, thank you for being on with us. We will talk to you next week, sir.
One last quick thing about Tony Romo. I didn't get a chance to put in the weekend observations, the OWI. I, like Zaz, had to Google what's OWI that's operating while intoxicated. And the first thing I thought of was, I didn't know he was a doctor. You have him surgery? He's like, oh, let me get
That's
appendicitis.
irresponsible.
Right? Like,
That's so irresponsible.
I liked it.
I liked it too. I sat out. I've got the loser game show sound right in front of me, but I don't have either the Kawhi laugh or the Hakeem Nicks laugh. I would have given him one of those because I pictured Tony Romo with the surgical gloves, but also incredibly drunk. Thank you, Amin.
Appendectomy? And it was like, no, man, I'm getting my tonsils removed. Like, oh, my bad.
Just see,
Why are there three of them?
See you later. Tony, let's get to your thoughts on The Odyssey.
The movie was great, Dan. It was a very fun movie from top to bottom. It felt epic. It felt big, as the story is supposed to.
You understood it?
Understood the whole thing. Loved the going back home and the journey. And sometimes you don't want to go back home because the memory of home is almost better than you actually going back. I had a huge pop when I don't know what his name is in the movie, but Robert Pattinson said, "Get these beggars out of here." Popped. I was like, yeah! Antinuous, whatever. You've seen it 7 times.
He was a real coward.
He was a real coward. I'm not going to spoil it, but certain things happen towards the end where he doesn't do something that he probably should.
Get the shield.
End up getting you get the spear.
Get those spears. The sword. Pick it up.
Yeah. One part of the movie outside of get these beggars out of here that I think everybody popped in was when he plucks the bow at the end. Oh, wow.
Dan, you know about stringing that bow?
Wow.
Oh, does he know how to string a bow, that Odysseus?
You, Zaz, are so interested in this that it's not something I have seen before. You're now going to go see it a third time?
Yeah,
You're going to go see it a third time?
Probably. I'm obsessed with this movie.
So the one thing that I saw that made me think of something, I was like, man, they were all in the ship. They're all doing their thing. And it's like, what part of history would me and the boys go back and have an excellent time at? So I came up with a top 5 things of history that would be sick to do with the boys.
Yes! All right. Wait, you think that the Odyssey is historically accurate?
No, it's not about historically accurate. It's about...
Well, you said history.
The people from that time did exactly that thing.
You think that war is something you'd like to do with the boys?
Didn't say war.
We'll see if it makes the top 5.
War is not part of the top 5.
I like this idea, though.
It's things from history, things from the past that the boys...
Things from history like the Odyssey.
Like the Odyssey.
So
fight
war.
a Cyclops.
Exactly. Things like, okay, now Mike's onto it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that's...
All right, we'll start in the OLI.
Rooted in history.
Being a part of the Apollo moon landing. Imagine the boys out on the moon. They're like, whoa! Oh, but look at this dude. We're on the moon.
You've opted for another thing from mythology.
Yo, I'm floating.
You imagine Chris like, Chris, get over here. We gotta go.
I see what you're doing. Things that didn't actually happen.
The first safari expeditions in Africa. It's like, what the hell is that thing? Why's its neck so long? What is that?
I'd want to do like the second or third one. I don't want to do the first
one. The first one is sick. You and the boys are figuring it out.
I don't want to do that.
What's out there?
Look, people, steal them. I'm not down for that one.
See, that's your mind's in the gutter. Joining the California Gold Rush.
Are we still on OLI?
That's just OLI still. Just OLI still.
So wait a minute. I think that you think some things that are sick to do with the boys aren't actually sick to do with the boys, because here we are for months at a time, and it's just you and me.
Yeah,
and we've got a pan, and it's just dirt,
prospecting,
and it's just dirt. We're not finding any gold.
Yeah, but when we do, though,
it's just, Tony, my hands are dirty, and I'm just getting sort of remnants of dust and crumble of rocks.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden you land that gold, and you're like, let's go.
So successfully doing the gold
Joining
rush.
the gold rush, yes. That's why I said gold rush and not gold sifting. All right, number 5, we'll go quick. Riding with the first cowboys across the American West.
Okay.
You're out there with all the boys. You're in the campfire. You're cooking a little something.
Look at those people. Kill them.
Eating beef. Mike's doing this the wrong way. Okay. Number 4, Age of the Samurai in feudal Japan.
You're nuts, though. Like, not, all of these things are terrible.
Oh, you guys are
What's Tom Cruise doing here?
That's great.
Culturally appropriated.
Number 3, being at the birth of Greg Cody. Centuries ago, all of a sudden we're there like Los Reyes Magos. Whoa, I can't believe we're here at this moment.
I've brought myrrh.
The birth of Greg Cody. Here's frankincense. Dan's got gold he sifted. Number 2,
baby,
exploring ancient Egypt before the tombs were looted. You get down there in the pyramids, that's like Indiana Jones.
I know. Those things.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's why we're there.
You built those.
Number 1, sailing into the unknown, looking for the new world. That's what made me think of the Odyssey, Dan. You're out there on the ship with the boys, and it's like, it's raining. We got to row this son of a bitch.
Look.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Or
Look.
Moana.
People. Let's kill them and seal them.
Oh, this guy's the worst.
Tony, you've just described
They're terrible adventures.
horrifying,
Oh,
harrowing.
you guys are Weenie Hut Jr.
The Greg Cody
Central.
one would cool. That'd be cool.
Before
You guys are
medicine?
weenies.
Before medicine.
No electricity.
You think hearing your grandmother scream before epidurals, giving birth to your dusty, cobwebbed father, you believe
Your brain beating me.
you believe
Who
the,
won?
the doctor grabbing your dad's head with the forceps. You think that would be charming before medicine.
Is this our third time doing 18 and 17?
Yes. We've done it a number of different times.
This is the real one.
These used to be in the top 10, and now everything's moved back, and it might still not be 18. This might, keep in mind, this might be in the 30s by the time that we're done. Because
70 is absolutely the ceiling unless it goes to 75. That would be the absolute ceiling. But right now, it's a top 70 catchphrase countdown.
What are you shaking your head about, Zaz?
I feel like we've been inside the top 20 for months.
That's the beauty of this.
I thought we were going to be into the top 10 by now. I think we're further back than we were. I thought we were closer than 18 and 17 a while back. I thought we've already done 18 and 17 a couple of different times.
Yeah, once. And now, number 18. Put a Lobo's mint under your pillow and dream big.
Wow. A classic.
He's winded. He's
I'm a little
amazing. He
winded.
does these very well. You will hear nothing in the way of criticism from me on how well you do these.
Thank you.
This list is extraordinary. When number 58 is Who Maketh the Salad.
Yeah, who made it a salad? Past tense. Number 17. What'd he say? Thank you.
Wait a minute. That's Jazz's.
What'd he say?
That belongs to Zaz.
No,
How-
Greg's right.
That's.
I've been saying that for years. What'd he say? But you got to say it like that.
But that's how Zaz says it.
What do you? Wait a minute. Say it.
No, Zaz doesn't say it that way.
That is how Zaz says
I've
it.
never heard Zaz say
Me
that.
neither.
Well, say it.
No, I'm not your monkey.
Oh,
Everybody
so
everybody
it's not
just knows.
your phrase.
No, I'll say it when I want to say it.
Hey, we're
Everybody
monkey.
knows. Everyone. That's what I say.
Say it then.
That is such bullshit.
Do you guys hear what Pat Riley said?
What do you say? That's my phrase.
Hey,
I've
stop
been
stealing
saying that for
Greg's.
years.
Stop stealing Greg's catchphrase.
No, that was entirely
Seriously.
different.
You're effing with me now, right? You're
No.
effing with me.
I've heard Greg say that countless times.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. The other one that you stole of mine, which was what? That was.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
No, he didn't steal that from me.
Right. Like, that's bullshit enough, all right? But I honestly, I don't believe that you actually knew that I said that, even though everyone knows. That's what I'm talking about. That's one of my go-to
Yeah.
phrases.
Hey, that's what
Fine.
I'm talking about.
Fine, you complete ignorance on that. Whatever. Okay, it's still stupid. But this time, there's no way.
What do you say?
Stop saying that. There's no way that you don't know that is mine. You're effing with me now.
I've never heard you say it. I'm asking you to say it right now. You refuse to.
I just said it.
Say it again.
What do you say?
Similar to mine.
You're right. The similarity is it's my phrase and you've stolen it.
Okay.
That's the similarity.
Okay, Christopher will tell you how many years I've been saying that.
Yeah, it must be a coincidence.
Brings me back to my childhood hearing him say that.
What did he say?
You see what's happened here? You had your list which originally started at 50, and then you've been able to add to it because you're stealing other people's phrases. You're like you're like Carlos Mencia.
Oh my God.
That's what just happened. You're like a comedian. Let's give out a huge congratulations as noted longtime Philadelphia 76er fan Juju Gotti gets to take a victory lap here today with LeBron James signing with the Sixers. Congrats, Juju. Maybe after 43 long years.
All those years.
After 43 long years, the Sixers, maybe they will return to championship glory. Good for you, Juju.
You deserve it.
You feel me? Clap your hands, everybody. Philadelphia 76ers.
So happy
Come
for
on,
you.
man.
You deserve this. I first thought about you. I'm like, I'm really happy for Juju Gotti.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I need these dubs sometimes, you know.
Do you have any concern? Are you hearing anything from people out there who are doubting LeBron James's fit? Are you concerned at all with how he fits on your favorite team?
Nah, I'm not concerned at all. I'm taking a page out of you guys' book. Just like a month ago when everybody was like, yo, Giannis doesn't make sense. Who's going to shoot the ball? Who's going to do all of this stuff will fall into place very soon. Unfortunately, there's a couple people on the contract right now that's going to have to be pushed to the wayside. I'm looking at you, Johnny Broom. I hope you last, you know what I mean? I hope Fight-Line, I hope everybody gets to stay, but we got to win this chip right now.
Was anyone over the weekend, any performances over the weekend that you didn't appreciate? Do we have any jokers of the weekend?
Come on, man. Speaking of, man, Jason Tatum, 1,000%. Brother, you are one of the jokers of the weekend. Read The Room. Read Earth. Read a book. I can't stand friends like him. They talk all this good stuff in your face, and as soon as you turn your back, oh, yeah, I don't want to be the first president. You know what that means, brother. Get him out of here. Also, I'm sticking in the same town. Mike Vrabel, you silly goose. You got the audacity to bring that damn puppy up here? I know you lying, sir. Playing right in our damn face. You feel me? And the same people, Boston media, are the same people who had a problem with Jaylen Brown being too smart.
I think
Come on now.
Juju, I think this is a good lane for you to be like Celtic hater guy moving forward. Do you think that's is that a hole you could fill?
Yes, sir. I can feel that hole for sure.
I like
you
that.
did.
Yeah.
But on top of that, after my announcement last week about Boston potentially maybe sometimes being a bit racist, my DMs are filled now with confirmation. I haven't been called as many N-words since, I don't know, maybe never. Like, salute to the fans of Boston. But in celebration and in occurrence with that, this week I will be giving away every single Boston Celtics jersey I own, especially this one. Listeners, stay tuned for all the sweepstakes because we're going to make it fun, baby.
So, Juju, I don't know if you saw at the end of last week, Mike Ryan gave me a couple of terrible movie recommendations, most notably a movie called The Coffee Table. I don't know if you have seen The Coffee Table, Juju. I don't recommend it. But have you ever been given movies that you would then tell people, hey, don't watch this, terrible idea?
For sure, absolutely. I only heard of The Coffee Table because Mike done put a couple of people on The Coffee Table, and they all have the same reaction you have. I haven't seen it yet, though. But I'm not going to lie. I took some advice from people at the show to watch a couple movies over the weekend, and it made me have a top 5 list of guys out there. Please do not watch these movies. Avoid these movies at all costs, no matter how much good stuff you hear about them. You dig. OLI, Keanu Reeves' vehicle, The Outcome. Trust me, I fell on that sword so y'all wouldn't have to. Pause. You dig. Another one, The Bride. Keep it off your list. You dig. You ain't got to do that to yourself. But number 5, starting first, my sister, Rachel McAdams, Send Help.
It's no good?
It's no good, bruh. Trust me. It's her and Percy Jackson just arguing all over the place, lightning thief style. It's not good at all.
Her and Percy Jackson.
Number 4, Balls Up. You. I sat there and watched. I'm like, you know what? Let me give my boy Marky Mark a chance, man. And it did not let me go anywhere but down. You did. Terrible movie. Number 3, and I'm sorry, I got to do this to you.
This is going to be controversial.
Obsession.
What?
Top 5 dumbest movies I have ever watched in my lifetime.
You are the first person, Juju, I have heard that did not like Obsession.
It was gripping. I was on the edge of my seat. I was watching. I was locked in for sure because it was crazy.
Wow.
But it didn't make one lick of damn sense.
Wow. Tony, you know about that Weeping Willow?
Not yet, buddy.
You know about that One Wish Willow?
Not yet, buddy.
Number 2, 72 hours. Kevin Hart, you got me again, you son of a bitch.
Oh, that's
I was
new?
like,
That
you
just
know
came
what?
out?
Yes, sir, man. Him and Marcelo and a couple of other Saturday Night Live cast members. Man, I thought, I'm going to give Marcelo a little faith. It's his first go around. Bro, I watched that movie for like 25 minutes and could not continue. Tapped out.
All right.
And number 1, another one, man. I'm sorry to do this. Steven Spielberg, I still love you, but Disclosure Day.
Wow.
I understand it. I saw it. I love the Emily Blunt performance, but I can understand why it just wasn't that good.
Huh.
Right, man. And then, no spoilers. So trust me, don't trust me. Do not watch that movie, bro. You are going to be disappointed the entire time.
I got a few tweets from people that took the Zaslow Mike Ryan movie challenge over the weekend. Saw Masters of the Universe and The Coffee Table. This
Hell yeah.
should come as no surprise, but people enjoyed Masters of the Universe a little bit more.
Has anyone taken your advice when you've recommended The Coffee Table to them like you did me? Did anybody come back and say, yo, Mike, so glad for that movie recommendation?
Yeah, there's a couple people that enjoyed the dark humor in it and the performances of
That's
it.
what
I
you
mean, you
call
want
it?
to say gripping.
Humor. All right.
You got to be built a little bit different. Like, to say sick people, you would say that I'm a sick person for liking it. And maybe, but I don't think so.
All right. Juju, let's get to some poll questions here. What do we got today? What have the people reacted to? Let's do some polls.
Starting off with a big one. Is it better to go 6-6 in the finals than 6-0? 68% of the audience. Oh, I read that wrong. Let me start from the top. Is it better to go 6-6 in the finals or 6-0?
That's what you said. You did it right.
68% of the audience says 6-0.
Zaz, you know about that good nut?
Juju, is it better to go to the finals 12 times or 6?
12 times, 100%.
It's all about how we frame things.
Should it be illegal for Jacob Mizorowski to throw an off-speed pitch? 79% of the audience says yes, it should be.
Zaz, you know about that good nut?
Juju, let's do a social experiment. Put on the poll, is it better to go to the finals 12 times or 6 times? And let's see how those results play out.
For sure. Absolutely. And I'm against this poll right here because I voted no. Is Tony's desk stupid? 92% of the audience, however, says yes.
I think it's stupid. I think the way that we should frame the question, actually, Mike, is it better to win your conference championship 12 times and the NBA Finals 6 times, or just win the NBA Finals 6 times?
How about we phrase it the way that I want to? And it wasn't
Yeah, I'm
better.
not reading all that.
So shut up. Do it the way that we asked.
Is IMAX an overkill scam? 67% of the audience says yes, it is.
Yeah. Zaz, you know about that good nut?
I could see that.
My way was perfectly fine. My way was perfectly flan.
Also, congratulations to David Johnson on being the new Black Panther.
That's
man.
a good casting. That's a good job. I
Yes,
like
sir.
that. Yep.
Absolutely, man. And last poll, have you ever enjoyed a movie more the second time you watched it? 75% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
Zaz, you know about that good nut?
Should have been Charlotte. God damn it, why do I speak anymore?
Thank you.
Guys,
Good night, everybody.
Listen up. This episode is brought to you by our partners at DraftKings. If you're already a DraftKings customer, guess what? You can now order lottery tickets right from the DraftKings Sports and Casino app. All you have to do is find the lottery tab, and with a few clicks, you can have a shot at millions. I'm talking Powerball, Mega Millions, and all your favorite lottery games right in the DK Sports and Casino app. New Jackpocket customers get $10 in lottery credits instantly when you deposit $5 on the DraftKings Sports and Casino app. DraftKings, the crown is yours.